Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Bottom of the Bill. We got our boy Brady Clampitt on today.
That's right.
Thanks for being here today, man. Appreciate it.
Billy.
Hey, man. How you been?
Good.
All right.
We got to do our obligatory cheers, before we get started.
He's got
here.
the reach around.
He's got the reach around. Daddy cheers. Cheers.
What'd you say? Daddy cheers?
Daddy juice.
Daddy juice.
All right, so before we get started, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors, Spliffs over in downtown, Wicked Barley Brewery in Mandarin, Brews over in Riverside, Harleston Scotch Company, a great Scotch company here in Florida if you're into Scotch, Sidecar over in San Marco, Captain Jack's Smokehouse, and then up in Fernandina, and then our newest sponsor, Blue Jay Listening Room.
Yeah.
Be sure to go support all these people, especially Blue Jay. They're working real hard right now to keep the whole thing going. It's a great venue in Jack's Beach, and Jack's Beach definitely needs it. Also, if you got any questions or suggestions or unpopular opinions, bottomofthebill@gmail.com. You can reach out and we'll get
That part before.
What about sending
unpopular opinions. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we do at the end of every
do it at the end.
episode.
What did we get? What was our fan mail looking like this week?
None.
None. Zero?
Yeah, none.
Sounds about right.
And then we have a show coming up at 1904 Music Hall, November 21st. We just added Chuck Majid to the show, so that's going to be a fun one. Make sure you get your tickets now. And then that's about all I have to promote. Bill, you got anything to promote?
No.
No. Brady?
Kind of depressed.
No.
No.
Really? You don't have any shows
No,
coming
I'm
up
just
either?
kidding. That's why I'm here today.
That's what you're here today. Just Brady's
No.
just fucking hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. No, I wanted to do this for a while, so I'm glad I'm here either way. But I
Oh,
do
yeah,
have
man.
something to promote.
Talk about
The
it.
single that's coming out, Daydreaming, this Friday.
Well, actually, by the time this airs, it'll be out.
It'll be
so.
Sunday, right?
Yeah, it'll be Sunday.
Okay, so
yeah.
it's available now.
Yeah.
I'll update the graphics, I'm sure, on Thursday night. But yeah, new single. We've been working on it. I wrote this song about 4 years ago and just made the demo, and it just was one of the songs that wrote itself really fast. Like,
Oh, I love those songs.
I mean, just came. It was just fluid and good, and I've literally rocked that demo for like 4 years. I'm just like, man, I really want to do something with this, but and it just came around time with things shutting down with COVID for an opportunity to kind of put some of this other stuff out. So I'm excited about that because this is the first track off the next album, and it was co-produced with John Lumpkin here in town. He's an FSU graduate and
Awesome.
great drummer, producer, plays a lot of stuff too. But and then it features the Terminus horns out of Atlanta, some of my buddies, and it just really, really killed the track. The demo was good. It's just like I'm sitting there, loving this song because it was such an easy, I just can't. It was a full course meal sitting there on a plate. For a songwriter, sometimes it comes in separate courses.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So when I was, from the conception time to now, it's kind of, surreal thinking about, what it was, and, sitting around on the beach and being inspired and just, buying a ukulele. And then now I've written this song. Now, now this song has become this beautiful piece of music, that's been collaborated on with these other musicians. And I'm just really excited about that, and really excited about the chance to maybe get out there and play some shows next spring.
Yeah.
And,
You plan on going on the road with this album?
yeah, definitely looking to do some stuff in either the spring or as late as summer for a full release. But I'm definitely going to drop some singles and some goodies in the next couple months with Daydreaming.
Awesome, man. I'm stoked to hear it, honestly.
Maybe I'll announce some of that here today.
Yeah.
We'll drop the goodies today.
Drop some goodies,
Good
bro.
idea.
I do want to ask you. Well, first off, it's crazy that you were able to listen to a demo for 4 years of a tune and not get tired of hearing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was the main thing.
That's why that's how you know it's a good tune, because we're almost done with our album, and I've listened to these songs countless times by now, and I don't want to hear any of them anymore at the moment.
Ever again.
I'm pretty much over it. It's not even out yet. I'm over hearing it.
Well, that's the other part of the album process and or the recording process for the song or the album. Once you've, I was hanging on the demo for a while, but once you've actually gone into the studio and worked on those tunes meticulously over and over and just reshaped your parts or just heard them and then you get everything tracked and you go to the mixing session and you're listening for another few
Countless
days
hours,
or a couple weeks, countless hours over weeks, and then by the time it's mastered, you're like, do I really have to listen to it again? Yeah, I'm done with the song. But even now though, I'm ready to play it live. I think is the thing I'm looking forward to. Is just doing, bringing this stuff to life with the rest of the stuff that's going to be on the album this summer.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm definitely stoked to hear. I was checking out the album you put out a few years back, and is it in a similar vein to that, or is it going to be? Are you going for a completely different thing with this one?
It's more mature, but it's coming from the same place. It's really rootsy and soulful, and there's elements of blues and Motown and soul and jazz and a little bit of country and rock.
Awesome.
We'll limit it to that right now, but it's it's going to be basically the best songs that I've written in the last 6 years. Some that were kind of maybe 7-ish, 8 years old that haven't. I haven't had a chance to do the album and do some of this stuff. So, but it's stuff I've been playing live. People be familiar with some of the stuff, and it's mainly that roots rock, type of vibe.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm stoked to hear it for sure.
Yeah.
So, what kind of want to go back a little bit to kind of like the beginning of everything.
I'm reading your notes here.
You see my notes now? Because you play several instruments. What was your first instrument?
All right, we're gonna dive in real quick here. Shane and Shauner and Steve are gonna enjoy this.
Yeah.
No, I was a band nerd. In 6th grade, I started playing alto sax.
Oh, nice.
And I was in symphonic band, and I ended up playing a little bit of soprano in jazz band. And picked up guitar instead of taking guitar and piano lessons around that time. But I grew up singing in church, and then after singing a little bit in choir in church as a kid, just in the car singing to the radio all the time, trying to do harmonies and just a lot of that came to me naturally, maybe from singing in church and the way stuff is structured musically. So, but I think. When I started playing guitar, I didn't, I made it through 8th grade playing for 3 years saxophone, but I really never touched it again. I'll pick it up at the house and stuff like that and mess around sometimes. But, it was just guitar and songwriting for me from there. And I really didn't pick up with the piano again till, I guess, a little bit before I was going to Berkeley. I was like, oh, well, there's these theory classes and this basic piano that they want you to learn with the harmony and stuff. So I better brush up a little bit, and that's kind of where I reconnected. My good buddy Matt Link gave me an organ to take to Boston so I could have something to practice on. It was a $35 or $40 organ that we picked up.
Nice.
And so I had something to work on immediately when I got there. I just from there got the gig with Levi Lowry, playing Clay Cook's parts from the Zac Brown band, and really just tried to just be the best that I could as a learner.
You played with Zac Brown band?
No, what I had to do is learn the parts of Clay Cook.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Who he actually played on Levi's record, but he plays with the Zac Brown band.
Okay, I see.
So, it was a challenge to learn that stuff in like 3 weeks and then go do the CD release run with Levi and his band. But I would say that was the main thing that, that's when I went out and bought a Nord. I'm like, okay, well, I got a gig. I got to learn these songs, and, it was a cool time in my life. Like, all right, cool, this is just new and different, but, I think I can do this. And I set my mind to it and went out there and did it.
What Nord did you have?
I think I bought an Electro 4D at the time.
Okay.
And then,
I'm still rocking Electro 3.
Oh, man.
Because I'm poor.
Well, mine have bitten the dust, and luckily I had insurance. So like a couple times when they've been knocked over on stage, like somebody has bought me a new one graciously when they've knocked it
way to
over.
go. That's the way to get one.
Yeah, and then insurance, always helps in that case. But I think, I had the 4, and then I had the 5, and then the 5 took a spill on tour, and then now I've got the
That's
6.
really weird, man. Because like I gigged with an Electro 3, and I got it back in like 2012. And sometimes the only thing that's wrong with it is like the touch sensitivity goes out.
Mhm.
But other than that, like
They're
it's
solid.
it's been the best. And then they weigh like 20 pounds tops. Like so how do you break them? I can't figure out how to break them.
If you're on the road and it's going through a lot of shit, you know, you're playing.
Just saying.
Yeah, I've had one go flying off a keyboard stand, and the other one had like a full drink poured down,
Ooh.
knocked over.
Okay, well that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
You know who
Yeah.
Todd Stoops is from Kung Fu?
Yeah.
Keyboardist. I saw him play at Jackrabbits one time, and I've never seen anybody do this, and it like made my like just heart sink as soon as he did it. But he figured out a way where you hold the sustain pedal and you pick up the Nord like this and just slap it back down onto the ground, and it makes the craziest sound you've ever heard.
Hold a sustain down.
It's like it just makes the, I don't know how else to describe it. It just makes all of the piano notes go at once. So
Wow.
So it's like hitting all the keys in the piano.
at one
Right.
time, but the
Or
only
like
way to do it is to pick it up and slam it back down.
Like a piano slamming down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy. Those electros, man. The
Workhorses.
The Norwegians
are.
know what to do.
Yeah.
Or Swedish. I don't know where Nord's from. I thought it was Norwegian.
I
Makes
don't know.
sense.
I have
Anyways.
no
It's a
idea.
very versatile board, I guess, is the best thing about it. And for, just to be able to have really good sounds in, I guess, a single board.
Yeah.
That's why guys have been going towards us, I think.
So before you went to Berkeley, were you taking lessons at all, or were you playing in bands or doing stuff around town?
I actually did. Like I said, I was trying to brush up on my music theory because I really didn't study too much with guitar, and I quit lessons once I started playing in bands, and I was like 15 when I started professionally playing gigs, and I really just kind of was trying to get back into music notation and like remember what I learned. And so I did take some lessons before I went with a local guy, Tommy Bush, who's just an absolute one of the best guitar players in the city, and a great teacher. But so I was trying to get brushed up as much as I could before I went back up there, and it was a grueling 8 semester guitar proficiency. And it's just leveled out in chunks, all the way up. And it's just, you're doing melodic minor and this, some other stuff thrown in on this one. But it's a very rigid structure, but it's good if you can get through it.
Yeah, totally. Shit
And,
helps
and then
sometimes.
and then the hard part is trying to apply all that stuff later. You learn it and then you try to put it in the real world.
That's always my biggest problem is like I know how to play. Like I know all the modes of my major scale. I know the harmonic minor, the melodic minor. I know the modes of that, but it's just a matter of like improvising when it's necessary. Like if someone tells you to play a Phrygian mode, it's not a problem for me to do that. But when it comes time to like put it in the right setting, I just don't know how to improvise in those keys. You know what I mean? Those scales.
Yeah, it's so much deeper than just learning how to solo.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Just gotta feel it out, man.
Just gotta feel it out.
Yeah.
Just gotta see, yes.
Well,
You
that's a
don't have-
that's a
you
good
don't
place
have-
to start.
Yeah, you don't have any feelings though.
Right, because I'm reptilian. I was a reptilian.
No,
joke.
I wasn't
in
even a
general.
reptilian joke. It was just
I just don't have any
you
feelings.
just gotta relax a little bit and just feel it out.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Well, yeah.
I'm really good at, I'm not well versed on anything really,
Oh, we know that.
but
yeah.
I can feel it out,
Well, you know,
and that's kind of my deal.
it's just.
I know what's been working for you. Berkeley seems like it was.
I
was pretty
started
dope.
with all feel. I was just mainly a blues guy. That's what I love. So I was okay. My first 3 was Stevie Ray Vaughan, B.B. King, Buddy Guy. That's kind of like my 3. And then some of those records I was just listening to over and over and just playing along, and also doing that with country and stuff. That Montgomery Gentry Band.
Yeah.
Some of their first record, Tattoos and Scars, was one that I was like, oh, just a ton of minor pentatonic, major pentatonic stuff, and it's just laid out really well for you to just kind of go back and try to pick it out and feel it out. But It is all about the feel.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you can feel
Preaching the choir over here, but
I don't know. You have no feeling when you play.
that is not true.
This guy, the time is just a suggestion for Billy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's one of those
Suggested time.
Yeah, just a suggestion. Just one of those
That's
things.
a great band name.
Where it's
That is good.
suggested time.
Yeah.
That is good.
Anyways, so when you first started playing, before you were learning all like the soloing and theory stuff, were you writing songs first, or were you actually trying to like be a guitar player first?
Yeah, I was writing songs. I was always messing around with songwriting when I started playing guitar. I remember like one of the first songs I tried to write. I can hear it right now. You want to hear it?
Yeah, do it.
It was a summer when we first met. You know, that's how it went. And it was just like, you know, probably like a C7, you know, right there at the 8th fret. Just
Yeah.
You know, Michael,
I'll sing more Bryan Adams.
George Michael Faith, you know, kind of a rip-off.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that's a good one.
So yeah, I mean, I was messing around and writing lyrics and stuff, and I've always really dug poetry, even through grade school. So I started keeping little lyric books. I have a bunch of crap that I'll eventually either burn or throw away.
Yeah. I feel that. I was going through some of my old lyric books from like high school the other day. I just found them randomly, and I was like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, what am I doing?
Yeah. Shit's wild, man.
That's so
I
true.
want to read that.
Yeah, we should have brought him to compare.
Yeah. So some of it's actually real. Some of it I was like, yeah, I wish I could still write like that.
Let's go
some of
back.
it's-
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of I'm on the outside, I'm looking in, sort of deal.
No, it was
Lincoln
definitely
Park phases.
it's
Super
definitely a little-
jaded.
Yeah, it was just angsty teenage shit, you
Angst.
know.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? And a lot of drugs were involved at the time, so it was just like a lot of stuff that I was writing under the influence of shit, or just like remembering back and trying to like reference those experiences.
So
And
edgy.
Some of it was, some of it I'm looking back and I was like, I would never think to write that now. Not mainly. Sometimes because it's just so bad that I wouldn't write it now. Other times it's just like that was a really good line, and it wouldn't come to me now because my imagination has been sucked away from the business of this
More
whole
of a
thing.
dust in the wind kind of guy now.
Fuck you. That's one of the song, that's one of the lyrics in the
Yeah.
songs that I
Dust in the
wrote.
Wind.
Dust
Yeah.
in the Wind. He thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah,
every time I sing it.
I'm into quoting. You know, like a good lyric. You know,
People do it on guitar and guitar solos or
But he
solos
thinks
all
he
the
came up
time.
with
It's-
that.
I did not think I came up with it.
Hey, well, now you have a problem, man.
He's Billy.
But no, it's a cool tip of the hat. You know, like when it makes sense. You know, throwing it in there, something that's really a tip of the hat to your person that wrote that song that you admire.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm okay with it, Billy.
I am
Yeah,
too.
fuck you,
If
Bill.
you kind of like you have like a an allegory to it, but just taking the words "dust in the wind," I feel like that's stealing.
I'm gonna have to see this in
That's
context.
stealing, not tip of the
It
hat.
is all about the
That's
context.
taking the hat off. You know what I'm saying?
Let's hear some of the words that you write to your songs.
I have great words.
I don't think so.
I mean lyrics. How does it work?
Jesus Christ.
What
Can't
about
we're-
Well, that was a detour.
yeah. So did you? How long were you at Berkeley for?
2 years.
2 years. Okay, so you started in Jacksonville Community College or community
Yeah,
college.
yeah. I
or
was
something,
doing
then you
community college, working in construction. Just doing the Blake Bortles thing.
Yeah.
working construction and ripping cigs?
Yeah.
I fucking love that quote. It's my favorite quote ever.
I mean, it's such
That's
a,
what he's doing now. He's hanging drywall in Ocala.
I'm telling you, it's not a bad
Wild.
gig.
No, it's
you know,
not.
so-
I mean,
And what
then
were
you-
you studying when you were there? Like, what was the program that you were in?
I was actually doing. It's kind of a. What's it called? It was kind of a pick your poison type of program.
Okay.
I can't think of the name right off the top of my head right now. But I was able to pick some things. I was able to put emphasis on songwriting and kind of pick and choose the classes I wanted to, especially in my master. So I picked a little bit of business, did songwriting. I did theater. I did screenwriting. I did
Okay.
a script and wrote a B.B. King play.
Oh, that's
Cool.
I had,
awesome.
what's his name? Vernon Reed from What's the band?
I don't know. I know that name too, though.
Yeah, I'm blanking. It's really good wine, by the way.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Vernon,
Speaking of, do you have
Vernon
any
Reed
more?
from the band that did the song "Cult of Personality."
Oh,
I know that song.
Jesus Christ.
Living Color.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Living
that's
Color. There
right.
you go. Fuck.
Okay, so yeah, he came in and was like our guest artist for the week, and we did a couple runs of the play after we wrote it. I was part of the class that wrote it, and then I actually acted in it too. And,
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Were you BB King?
No, I was like this Buster. I was about almost probably the weight that I am right now. I was up there, but yeah, that was fun. So I really got to kind of dig into whatever I wanted to, and I think that benefited what I wanted to do with music, which was, not necessarily just be a guitarist or not necessarily just be a singer-songwriter. Kind of dabble in all these things creative, in the arts.
Okay. And why did you decide to come back to Jacksonville afterwards? A lot of people tend to go to like New York or LA or Nashville or afterwards, if they go there.
Man, Jacksonville and Florida has just always been home to me. It just always resonates with me. As far as if I ask myself the question, where do I want to be? Where do I want to live? And growing up around here, I'm so in love with the nature and the history, between my family and the other thing was, at the time I was ready to come back. There were some things going on in my personal life that it was just time for me to come back.
Yeah.
So I came back to deal with that, and it actually ended up being a good thing. I got hooked up with the guys that I did the album on, Rich and Billy and Nico, and I've worked with some of them in the wedding band ever since, and fostered all types of relationships. So it was, for me, Nashville was cool. LA, it's not for me. I think that was just I wanted to come back and really just do my own music. So I figured that's how I could probably get it done, is by coming back and just being where I'm comfortable and working, and got back to gigging right away. And then I quit my job after a few months of working for minimum wage at Chili's.
It's definitely.
I played a couple country club gigs, and made the same on a Friday night as I would working 40 hours a week. So I made the commitment at that point. I'm just like, whatever I've got to do to gig, that's what I'll do. If it's budget my $300 and get one gig a week, I'm gonna budget that $300 till I can, make this full-time switch. And I just had to. It was time.
Yeah. No, I feel that. It's definitely easy to do that here too. Like, it's a lot of work.
There is a lot of work.
Fernandina, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. You get a lot of weddings and private events, and then the bars just between the three areas, just like.
If you
so
can
many
play Jimmy
places.
Buffett, there's a lot of gigs.
I've managed to somehow not play Jimmy Buffett at all in the 5 years that I've been here.
What's wrong with you, man?
Bro, I can't fucking stand
How's
that.
that working
Oh
out
my
for us?
gosh.
Too?
Yeah, exactly.
Bro,
Exactly.
I'll tell you what.
telling you what.
Before COVID, I was playing 5 nights a week, sometimes twice a day. Some days, some. There were some weeks where I had 9 gigs in a week. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't play at the places where it's basically like where you're a jukebox. I don't play at those places. I never work out there. But there's always a lot of other places where you can kind of make it work. Where they're like, oh, I like that you do your own thing. That's where I fit in.
Yeah, that's
Where
same here.
where you're valued.
Where I'm valued.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not working out too well for me right now.
Well, of course, it's not working out anywhere.
So whatever. So you mentioned you were doing some road stuff when you were up at Berkeley. Like you were on the road, like you were touring.
No, I wasn't touring while I was at Berkeley. I was strictly. I did one thing with a friend of mine, Miggy Miller. We went to Houston and played a show with AJ Raphael, and that's pretty much the only thing. We were gigging around Boston mostly, and just like being broke and living on a tight budget and going to class and jamming out in the rooms and just getting down on each other's recording projects. I didn't tour till after Berkeley a few years later. same guy as my buddy Lawrence Nimmons. I met him and Miggy at a clinic at Berkeley for like stage anxiety, performance anxiety. It's like building, as a
Confidence.
little workshop to build confidence. Get up there and you get in front of the room. Let's all grow together. Basically, what it was looking back.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I met them there one of the first weeks at Berkeley. Became best friends, and that was a connection that later on, Lawrence called me out. He's like, "Hey man, I'm working with this this badass songwriter Levi Lowry. Like he wrote Colder Weather with Zach Brown. Like he's legit." And once I heard his stuff, I fell in love with it because it was right up my alley. It was super honest. Thought-provoking and just like mature songwriting, and had a big impact on I think my songwriting moving forward. I was kind of like, what am I writing about? But yeah, so that record, doing that with him, and working later with another artist kind of from that same mix, Sonia Lee. We went to New York and did like a run, and it ended up being, what was cool was worked with some of the guys from the wedding band in Nashville on that tour.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like I showed up to the tour to rehearse in Nashville with Lawrence, and it ended up being two guys that I'd say it was you two. We have some history, some familiarity. We like each other, at least hanging out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I walk into the room and it's my buddy Stephen Mullen, and then my buddy Will, a great bass player, and I was just so super stoked. So the four of us provided the rhythm section for Sonia Lee and went out and just did a short run, like kind of week and a half, 2 weeks up to New York and back. But that was kind of my first introduction to getting out and playing in other cities and doing original music. We played in front of almost 4,000 people in New York on the harbor at the pier there, and opened up for Brantley Gilbert.
No shit.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
And we did 2 shows with Blackberry Smoke on that run with Sonia Lee, and that was
Cool.
that was probably my highlight, was meeting those guys and hanging out and just seeing how they do it and how they carry themselves, and what can you we all know, you go backstage at these shows and we're hip to the fact of act like you've been there before. But it's, act like you've been there, and then, what can you learn? How are these people working and, handling their operation?
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot to take in when you're around people like that, because it can go like several ways. But it's one thing, sometimes you see these guys and like they're partying really hard, and you're just like, oof, that's not going to last very long. Or you're just like...
I almost want to disagree with you. I feel like the people that party hard are the ones that are like, we've been doing this for like forever. This is a walk in the
Just
park.
depends on where you're at in your
Yeah,
career.
true.
I
When you
think.
see like 18-year-olds or whatever doing it, then maybe you can have that opinion. But what I've noticed about musicians in general is that we're all just giant fucking nerds, and we have nothing to talk about until you start talking to music. So everybody's just shy as hell.
Yeah.
So
you do drugs, and it kind of like loosens people up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, now I can be normal, because it seems like most musicians, if they're not singers, no offense, but they're just introverts.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
I'm a singer, but I'm not exactly an extrovert.
Yeah,
it
that's
takes
what I mean.
a little bit of wine and familiarity.
Speaking of, is there some more wine back there?
Yeah, you give me a reach around if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's take a look at this. This is Napa Valley.
Yeah, this has now become a wine podcast, so.
I knew this was going to happen. I
We're
was like,
gonna
if I
review
bring
it?
wine, we're going to start talking. All right, we're going to have to get into my extent.
Is that
My
extensive
is
knowledge
that
of
New
wine.
World or Old World?
This is, I'm not sure.
It's from
What, are
California.
you
I
a
see
wine
Napa Valley.
connoisseur?
Yeah,
Somewhat.
Really? I wouldn't have pegged you for that.
thanks, Fran.
We spent a lot of time in the woods together. I would have never guessed that you were a wine connoisseur. Just saying.
Thanks for the communion sip.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Just kidding.
I've always loved red wine versus white, I guess. And I really like the San Sebastian winery down in St. Augustine. It's
Yeah,
kind of
that place
sweet,
is
but
really good.
I've kind of, my taste has broadened a little bit, I guess you could say. I like a little bit more of a I like a cab and a Merlot versus like a table dinner wine. Something that's just sweet.
Yeah.
I still have never been able to.
And diabetes. So.
I haven't been able to taste the difference, unless I'm like, yep, that's definitely a red.
Yes.
Yeah, that's red.
That's all I know.
There's some wines, like for me, like Moscatos are just
Moscato.
that shit's like way too sweet for me. You can tell like there's
Yeah.
some wine where like if it's like Cabernet and like I don't know like what's the other one
Merlot.
Like I
Pinot
probably
Noir.
couldn't tell you the difference. Yeah, I probably couldn't tell you the difference between any of those.
So-
but when it comes to Moscato,
Sounds like a mystery novel now.
yeah, right.
Guy Noir, Private Eye. No way, that's NPR, sir.
Take one of your Pinot wines. That sounds pretty good. How you say? Pinot?
Pinot Noir.
Yeah, I was in the grocery store with my girlfriend one time picking out wine, and this guy comes by and he's like, "You should try the Menage a Trois."
I have had that.
No, but he's like, "You should try it. It's really good."
It is really good.
But we're both standing there like,
I'm confused.
we were confused. We're like, I'm sure it's really good. It's just like odd. Is this guy really? Is he suggesting a Menage a Trois wine?
Is he
Right.
trying to make an Eiffel Tower?
Yeah.
Exactly. You're not confused. You knew
Or are
it.
you just
He
trying
knows
to-
about the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. And then high five at the top.
Yeah, you got a high five.
You
at the
knew.
top, yeah, for sure.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, this got way off the rails.
Not really. I can keep going.
You can keep it going, Bill. Let's hear
I
some
don't
more of
know.
your experiences with Eiffel Towers.
Eiffel Tower. I've been to the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been to Paris. It's pretty dope.
You're a real cultured guy.
Well, I went when I was 14, so.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Here's a question. You born and raised in Florida?
Yep.
Okay.
Right here in Jacksonville.
What's another word for an attorney?
A lawyer.
Thank you.
I can't.
That's how you
A
say it.
lawyer.
It's a
I
lawyer.
can't stand it. He keeps saying. He says
I said
lawyer.
no,
It's
I said
lawyer.
I said lawyer earlier today, and he looked at me like I was like a what? And I was like, aren't you
Lawyer.
How do you say it?
Lawyer.
Lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lawyer.
Lawyer.
You say lawyer?
Yeah. What do you say?
I said lawyer.
Lawyer.
Yeah, lawyer.
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 I said lawyer
lawyer.
because I watched
Sounds
this
like
movie a
Foghorn
couple months
Leghorn.
ago. It was a murder mystery on
Yeah.
Netflix, and it was the guy that played the Bond movies now, the newer guy.
Oh,
Craig.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
yeah,
him,
Daniel
but
Craig.
he had this like Lindsey Graham like Southern accent, boy.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And it was just like
pretty
so
good.
weird. I started watching it. Actually, it was a really good movie.
What was it called?
It's some type of murder mystery on
James
Netflix.
Bond?
It was a
What?
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said that. Also, what do you put in your car to prevent your engine from burning up?
Antifreeze?
How do you say the word oil?
Oil?
Yeah, oil.
Oil.
Earl.
Why I say oil?
Earl.
Oil.
Yeah, some people say
Well, Earl is
Earl
a
sounds
different.
different.
It's from the Urban Dictionary. Earl. I mean something else now.
Well, what?
But oil.
Oil. Why do you
Oil.
say it like that?
I don't know. I've
That's
got
just how you
that.
say it.
Oil. Spell it out. People
Oil.
from the South are
Oil.
lazy.
Oil.
My-
Just fucking around.
Brady, my girlfriend's from New Jersey, and so we've just been going back and forth like nonstop. I was like, why do you say it that way? I was like, why do you say coffee boss? Why do you say it like
Oh
that?
my goodness!
Yeah. it's
Don't get me started.
Yeah, Well, yeah, that's right. You went to Berkeley and Boston.
Well, we toured to New Jersey twice with Melody's band
Oh, yeah?
and played at the Wonder Bar on Jersey Shore.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and we got yelled at by this guy. The thickest Jersey accent you could ever think of. I'm sure Shane and Sean told this story already. You guys
I
don't
don't
remember?
think I know it.
No. Anyways, this guy comes running out at us. He's like, "Move your van and give me your keys, your car keys." And I was perfecting my accent the whole way there. I was in the back of the van, like looking up, sayings from the area and stuff like
so
that. So I
funny.
was like, disco fries. And
What's disco fries?
disco fries? They're like fries and gravy.
That sounds like a great band
And like
name.
Benny's.
Huh?
Benny's.
Benny's?
They're like out of towners.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I was just stringing together all this
No,
shit,
Carrie
like a
did tell me
sentence.
that. That's right. Yeah, Benny's. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Benny's are out of town, so it's like fucking Benny's.
fucking Benny's,
Yeah.
bro.
You've
Fucking
seen it on Jersey Shore, but Yeah, so I basically, before we even got to Jersey Shore, I had pissed off everybody in the van.
Really?
Because I just locked into that Jersey accent and didn't let it go.
Shit's fun to do.
It was my time to piss everybody off on that tour.
Everyone else had their turn.
Yeah, everybody had a turn. I might have had two.
What do I do to piss you off on tour?
Just about everything.
Yeah, but like, what do I?
Let me hear some of this.
You don't stop talking.
That's my problem. Is
we
I
were
can't stop.
What, at like 4 a.m. on the way home?
It doesn't matter what time it is.
Well, because he drives on the way home, so he needs someone to talk to the whole way so he can stay awake.
I knew it.
And I'm just like, bro, I can't stay awake with you. He just keeps talking. I'm just like, fuck, man.
Yeah, I will.
Or we were going through some GoPro videos from when we were going down to the studio last time, and it was like we would get into an argument about something, and then neither one of us can just let the other one have it. It's like they're just like we each have to have the last say. So it's like we're trying to like one up the other one, and then if we stop talking, he just instantly just starts grabbing shit and just starts fucking with shit in the van. I'm just like, bro, can you just like sit?
It's a good thing y'all aren't in an actual relationship.
I know, that's what everyone keeps saying. It's getting weird at this point, but
It's good that y'all are just friends.
Yeah, best friends, best friends
it was
for life.
funny. So when we're on the road, we have to get one hotel room. We have to like often share beds and shit. So Billy looks at his girlfriend Carrie the other day and was like, "I'm pretty sure I've slept with him more than I've slept with you."
That's only because we've been dating for just a couple months. But at the same time, yeah, that 100% that's true.
It happens.
It's quite
Sharing
experience.
hotels, man. Yes.
So when did you start like your own project? When did that become a thing?
I was writing some of the stuff before I got to Berkeley. I was kind of already had some of the songs that ended up on my first album, and I just kind of kept working on it. And it was maybe like 75% of the way done by the time I was leaving Berkeley, and I came home and just started working on the rest of it and tried to finish it up and started working with the other guys at a certain point. And, that was really like 2011 where I really made the jump from like, all right, hey, I'm going to work on this original music and try to put this out, Nobody cares. Or it seems like it, I'm doing this for me, so I just kind of set my mind to it at that point. I was like, that's what I want to work on. So 2011 was when I came back from Berkeley.
And did you make like was it an intentional move to do it under your own artist name, or were you, or is that something that kind of came to you like after putting bands together and it just not working out? Like, you know what I mean? You put bands together and she just doesn't work out.
Are you talking about Billy?
No. No, because I've
that was a good burn. That was a really good burn.
I would
like to.
I feel like I knew he was going to do some stuff like this. I was going to have to catch on to it.
I would like to add. I quit my band. I didn't get kicked out, but yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, so just shit doesn't work out with bands a lot, and it's hard to, if it's under your own name, you can kind of like pick different people, and it doesn't really matter who's in the band as long as they can play your shit, then you're good to go.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it, I guess, so much as those things kind of worked out for me in those ways just because I did it. But I think I just had to put my name on it overall, because it was the stuff on that record is super personal. And I was like, this isn't really, I guess maybe in some ways this isn't really like form a band around this. This is a passion project. So like I really got to put my name on it. And even though like, it doesn't, sound like the most comfortable thing to do, I was like, call it Cheeto Factory and put the album out and maybe,
Cheeto Factory.
Yeah. And, it's just like, but it's less personable, and it's it's kind of just like like I said, I had to put my name on this because it was so personal.
Yeah,
we kind of went the opposite direction with with our band because it was called the Anton LaPlume Band, and then we all started writing songs together, and we're like, well, I mean, this is not just the Anton LaPlume Band.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, what are you trying to do, man?
Yeah, well, to be
hold
fair,
us back. Yeah,
I just couldn't think of a band name, so I moved to Jacksonville. It was I wanted to hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. So rather than like waiting until I could find a band name, I would just say, well, I'm Anton LaPlume. We're just gonna start doing this.
I forgot to ask. Did we get the rights yet or no?
We're working on it.
Okay, we're still working on it.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man,
you
dropping some news?
I thought you said you were gonna know this week.
Yeah, well, I have to have a meeting with our manager to find out about it because he's handling all that.
Sorry.
Are you doing the T word?
Yeah, well, yeah, because we have because Side Hustle is there's like a couple of other ones out there, and two in particular pose a bit of a threat. One is in Canada, and they've
Is that the threat one?
because they have a like their name comes up first on Spotify before ours. So the other one that's more of a, because bands break up, they're not very active on social media at all. I don't see them doing anything really. But the other one that's a bigger concern to me is there's one in San Diego, and just strictly based off the geography, that's a concern because of where they're at. You know, it's like they're connected. San Diego's
But they're
connected
just
to
a
the LA
cover
scene,
band,
and
right?
huh?
They're just a cover band.
No. There's a bunch of little Side Hustle cover bands around the country. I don't give a shit about them at all. But like the one in San Diego has like, you know, like an image that they don't have the same presence that we do on social media, but just by geography that's concerning because they can get linked up with a label real quick and all that.
We
you
were
know.
first.
Yeah, we were, which is why we have, you know, kind of stake in the game here as far as the trademark goes. But yeah, I haven't heard back yet. We were supposed to be able to make an official application for it after waiting for like 2 years because some other record label in New
We
York.
don't have to talk
Had
about
an
it.
application going or something.
Yeah, basically we've had a horse in this race now for about a year and a half, and we've been spending a lot of money on going through the bullshit because of this name is more common than we originally thought.
Right.
So yeah, so
You know, that was another thing about it. It was like the uniqueness of my name particularly was like it's you learn once you start getting into it, like, okay, what are you thinking about calling your band name? You know, look it up, and that was part of it for me too. It was like there's so much uniqueness to my name. It's just like I won't have any issues.
right,
You know?
right. That's
So
the thing a lot of bands have to worry about right now, man. Is trademarks, is because social media and everything is the way that it is.
and getting
You
sued.
know? Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, anybody could claim anything, you know, just, and a lot of music, it's just like Quincy Jones says, there's 12 notes, we're all given 12 notes, and that's it, you know, we're left to work with that.
Right.
So it's, you know, I think that's one of the hardest things that songwriters and bands these days trying to put out any type of original content is feeling like, you know, you're either going to get sued or like, man, this, you know, this sounds like something. But, you know, as long as it's authentic and comes across genuine, you know, I think the reason we're still able to do it today is because people are still putting their heart into stuff.
Yeah, they like ruled. I can't remember who it was that made the final like ruling on it, but you can't own a chord progression.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
pretty
that.
crazy to me.
And it's something like up to seven notes
seven
in a
or
row.
eight
Certain-
notes.
yeah.
Yeah.
The famous Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Court case.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody needs to make a little documentary about all that.
Yeah.
I would watch that for sure.
But
But in case Side Hustle doesn't work out, I've been
Okay.
working on band names forever. Do you want for this week? So far, Meat Sunset.
that's stupid.
Yeah, I made like the perfect steak, and I said it looked like a meat sunset.
What kind of cut was it?
New York strip. I'm high class. Shark.
You could have gone for the fillet.
He could have gone for he's from
You
Kentucky.
could
You
have
have
gone
to
for
forgive him.
aged Wagyu beef, marbled to perfection.
So my next.
You're lucky you didn't order a steak at McDonald's. You know what I mean? That's the kind of guy
You
we're
can do
dealing
that
with
now?
here.
Shark water,
That was dumb.
Sure
Also
crying ears,
terrible.
drone situation.
It's
A
not
lot of
bad.
these was when I was
Drone
drunk.
situation.
I like that one.
I do too.
Bob Barker pencil mic.
That's really stupid. It's kinda funny.
Pizza pour
Eh.
because I'm.
Took
poor.
me a second to get the Bob Barker pencil mic.
The last one I
I
wrote
was
down
still
was
thinking-
just now suggested time, but the best one I say this for last is Scuba Doo. It's like
Scuba Doo.
It's like Scooby Doo, but it's Scuba Doo. That's a great jam band. name.
Scuba Doo.
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo. What are you talking about, man? Scooby Doo.
Scuba Doo. Oh no.
Yeah, I've seen Scooby Doo.
And then
Yeah.
I was going back and I was like, yeah, we solve underwater mystery. So stupid.
Underwater
Solve
what?
Underwater
mysteries.
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 That's so stupid.
Aqua True Crime.
I I came up with a really good one. We were at the studio called Synth Jizz.
Here we go.
Oh.
It's not a good one.
It's such a
not.
good band name.
It's not a good
I
one.
wrote it down because he forced me to. This is a mile-long list, by the way. But I'm just updating everybody.
You're basically forced to do all your marketing advertising on the dark web.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not gonna go anywhere.
Synth Jizz. Well, it's obviously like a local cover band name. You know what I mean? Like Synth Jizz. I like it. I'm into
No
it.
one's gonna go see Synth Jizz.
I'm gonna start a cover band called Synth Jizz and watch how much we get booked.
strip
I
clubs.
will 0. That's how many times.
Um,
I wonder if there is a band like that just like tried really hard and they just could never get a show, like no matter what.
Yeah, they changed their band name to Synthesis.
But like can't even get on an open mic or anything like that. They're like, no, you can't play
you
it.
can't do that.
I don't know.
What'd you say you changed your name to?
Yeah. Just had the most offensive name ever. It's not even offensive. It's just gross.
Yeah.
I like it. That's why I describe the
you
music.
do.
That's why I describe the music that Billy listens to. It's just like synth jizz. It's literally just synthesizers and 4 on the floor all day.
You don't like keyboard?
It just sounds like synth
Keyboards
jizz to me.
and-
That's all I'm saying. I said that and it sounded like a good band name. I'm just saying. It's a solid band name.
All right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so
How do you bring that one back, guys?
I'm pretty good at just getting into it.
Just
Rain
Segue
on back
right
in.
on to the next one.
Segue right. I don't need any smooth transitions or anything like that.
We were talking about band names and about the originality
Yeah.
and stuff, and I'm just letting him know that I've got some backup ones ready to go.
Well, I'm curious as to how, because you went on the road with that band, right? So I'm curious as to how were you able to get guys to commit to a project? You know, people usually going on the road. First off, is a difficult lifestyle for a lot of people who don't want to do it. An original project usually takes a little bit more of a financial investment at first, and time-wise, it takes a lot longer to get going. How were you able to get guys to commit to go on the road for something that wasn't really their project? You know.
I just got to pay them.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, like offer guys a fair rate. You know, what? First of all, what can you do, and like where does that fall in the ballpark of like, you know, paying somebody a professional rate to come in and play for you and or record for you. So save your money. If you want to record an album with some great musicians, start saving your money now and put it aside for that, so that you know you can create what you want to create with whoever you want to. You know, it doesn't mean like I want Quincy Jones. You know, for instance, I don't know, I'm saying his name twice tonight, but I want him to do my. You know, maybe that's not realistic, but if you want to pick, you know, really good musicians to work with, you they don't all charge the same thing,
Right.
you know. So you have to figure out a way to kind of make it work. And I just what was the main question?
Just how you're able to get guys to hop on board with it.
Well, so we didn't really tour. I just did three nights, 3 CD release shows, and I didn't really consider that a tour. Might have called it a tour at the time.
Well, yeah, you gotta kind of blow it up a little bit.
You know, we had been doing the wedding stuff up there, and then in Nashville too. So we were all traveling back and forth that way a lot, and had made some connections, and we kind of just morphed the band a little bit between those 3 cities
Oh, I see.
with some of the musicians from those networks.
Okay, cool.
So if you look on my YouTube, you'll see like a video of Counting on Love at South in Nashville, and it's got like my buddy Joey Fletcher on guitar, and some different horn players. I forget, JP was up there, and that's what we did. It was mainly the core of guys that performed on the album. I talked them into like, all right, hey, you know, it's, you know, we're all being realistic. We're doing some door thing here, small guarantee here. I'll pay you this, and you know, do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Can you? Yes or no? And so, you know, it's really a labor of love when you get out there on the road and go play for little money. Like
It's crazy how-
you're going into the hole by leaving home and going to spend money.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, well, how much is that? All right. Yeah, I'll do it. You know, it's because you love it so much, and I
Yep.
think that's that was the reason the people that have worked with me have always done it. I can't really convince you much more than you want to do it yourself anyways.
Yeah.
But I've just always tried to create a fun atmosphere when whatever I'm doing in the studio, on gigs, and just kind of take care of everybody the best I can is what they would like to be treated. So as a band leader and doing my own thing as an artist, that's just kind of my mindset.
Did you ever take experiences from, like from having been a hired gun in the past before you started your own project? Were you taking experiences that you had learned as a hired gun and trying to feel like, well, as a band leader, what do I not want to do and what do I want to do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came down to, just like going out and seeing how Blackberry Smoke does it before the show. They have a meal with all the crew. Everybody gets together, eats something healthy. You fuel up the right way, with some lean greens and lean meat, maybe some tofu. Okay. And, you fuel up right. And the other thing was, just heard horror stories of guys coming in, they're working for other people, other band leaders, who I won't mention their names because I've got class a little bit.
Good.
But no, it's just they're like, oh yeah, they throw us throw us in the conference room and throw us a couple slices of bread and a pack of bologna. I'm like, that's not. I mean, I've been there too. You play a wedding or something. Sometimes they throw you in a room and they throw you all a bandwich.
Yeah.
A bandwich in a box. It's like a cookie, chips, and then other places, they'll give you a nice meal.
Yep.
So that's what I wanted to do for anybody that I work with. It's just like, I think I catered something before the release here. It was easier for me to do because I had some help in town in Jacksonville. But we catered like a really nice thing before the release, and just invited some family and friends to that too at Mavericks. But that release was at Underbelly here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. And Underbelly just opened back up, which is a cool
the
thing.
other day.
We just went to go check it out. Have you been yet?
No, I haven't. I saw a picture. It looks awesome.
It's really cool. Yeah.
Can't wait to go
I'm so
see a
glad.
real show.
Yeah, I don't know what
It's
it looked
awesome,
like before. It was closed by the time I got here.
I never
but
went before, so I don't have no
Oh, you
reference
didn't?
either.
You didn't go before?
I never had a chance to, no.
Oh, yeah. It looks super cool now though. So yeah.
It's really big and redone, refinished, and everything.
Yeah, man, it's important, I think, to kind of have the both both experiences as like a hired gun and a band leader, because like it makes you much better at both of those jobs when it's like, well, okay, if I've been a hired gun before, how do I want to present myself, and what have I seen in the past that didn't work or what did work? And then also, like, if I'm going to be a hired gun after having the band leader experience, what do I expect from people, and how can I just not be the guy that doesn't get called back,
Right.
So, yeah.
I think it almost hurts you the other way around, too, because I was never a hired gun first. I was like, I'm going to start a band, and I did it. And then I was like, okay. And you make so many mistakes, like because as a hired gun, you just watch other people make mistakes. I was like, oh, okay, this is how you don't do it.
Yeah.
And so
it's not falling on you.
Yeah, exactly. And so it all fell on me, and then I quit, and then became a hired gun. And I was like, oh, this is how you do it. So I'm about to leave, just letting you know.
Okay.
I'm do my own thing.
Start your
No,
own
I'm
thing,
just
yeah.
kidding. I love being in this band.
You're not really a hired gun in Side Hustle, though.
No, not anymore.
I don't think anybody in the band. We don't really have that dynamic.
No,
I mean,
yeah, it became a full band and everything like
Yeah.
that. Everybody is.
I definitely handle all of the booking and the management stuff. But as far as like creativity goes, and as far as like delegating the responsibility, like, everyone in the band has something to do.
That's good.
And that's like really important.
It's the only way modern bands can really survive, because it takes so much for me as an artist to do everything I do for my artist career and my soul music. But when a band comes together, you just can't have one person doing it. You have all these other reasons. You have 4 to 7 other people, being able to delegate those roles out.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
No,
Dude,
no worries.
you're going to every interview with me from now on.
Yeah. He's gonna be a
Delegate.
publicist.
I'll be
Yeah.
He'll be like, what's that word, Billy? What's that word?
Yeah. Can we take that one again? Let's do it.
Yeah, run that.
Parentheses.
Now, where were we, Billy?
You were talking about delegation.
That was a test.
Yeah.
What kind of delegation?
Band delegation.
No, yeah, the success of the modern. Yeah, you see, you are hard. The success of the modern band really does center around everybody being able to pull their weight in some form or fashion, off stage.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, that's a professionalism that comes into play. Like, can you handle the gig, and go out there and do that correctly, and to everybody's, you know, up to speed with where everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
And it really comes down to having to, delegate those roles where the online stuff, somebody's got to be doing it. Or you're all investing. You all have to invest because like we were talking about how much it is to do it yourself versus to pay a company to do it. And the bottom line for people watching this that care and have made it this far is that nobody can do your marketing and tell your story the way that you can. No matter how much amount of money you can pay them, you probably don't have enough money to pay them to tell your story the proper way.
Right.
So it really comes down to, if you really want to do this and put your stuff out there, tell your story yourself. And there's all kind of stuff out there to research. I would just say research the crap out of anything you want to do these days.
Yeah.
Marketing and all that stuff is just, it's so deep.
It's and so important, probably more now than it ever has been, because the gatekeepers of the music industry for the most part are gone. So it's like there's so much stuff out there. Yeah, I mean, there's still gatekeepers out there, but more what I'm saying by that is that there is, between all the streaming platforms and YouTube and social media, there's so much content out there that
It's an overload.
Yeah, it's an overload. So in order to get yourself seen, you have to, the marketing and the PR stuff is super, super important, because it's not just like 5 labels all under the same umbrella that are putting bands out now. Now it's like everybody's just putting themselves out. So how do you stand out? Well, you have to have the right marketing and PR in order to do that. So, and those campaigns cost a lot of money. They don't promise anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, just do the best thing to do, the most cost-effective thing to do, and it would be to learn how to do it yourself, because
for the sake of the art, man.
Yeah.
Not for the dollar.
Exactly.
Learn your process.
Exactly.
I'm learning something new every release I do.
Exactly.
And we were talking about this before we got going. It's a lot that goes into doing this stuff for yourself, and you really, it becomes what you do. You have to like doing it.
Yeah.
You have to like sitting, at the computer till 12 on a Sunday, just like falling asleep while you're typing interview questions back, you know, and
you got to, it's the same way, to bring it back home, is the same way that you would go on tour for, $25 a show, or like profit anyways. That's the same way that you got to go with it into looking at the extra work that you have to do for marketing and PR and all this stuff like that. Every part of it
exactly
is you
way to bring it back home,
working as hard as you possibly can because of what it could be.
Yeah.
The love of it and everything like
that. And what it could, it's more about the potential than the guarantee. Matthew McConaughey has a new book, Green Lights. I'm promoting that also. It's good, but it was so true. I heard that. I was like, you are going after, you're putting all that work in for the potential.
Yeah.
Not the guarantee.
No, I know.
And the best thing about being creative and doing this stuff is the love of the just the doing it.
Yeah.
It's rewarding in a way that's like like cooking or something. Or making a nice cocktail versus just pouring a Jack and Coke. There's a process.
Yeah.
Enjoying the process.
Yeah,
well,
exactly. That's all it comes back to, like plateaus and everything too. Like people get so anxious about not being able to get to the next level, and really the next level is you just being patient where you are.
Yeah.
And so that's the test. Is what I'm trying to say. Is if you can just stick with it, and that's my motto, like the whole time. Like if you just stick with it the entire time, it will pay off.
Yeah.
But God damn it, is that the most boring thing in the world to do?
Well, you know,
It's all these YouTube hashtags, Instagram hashtags, and all
I
this
like-
crap. When are you gonna make a TED talk about it?
so I actually
This kid knows more than anybody.
No,
that
I don't know
anyways.
a fraction of what
You're
needs to be
selling
known,
yourself short
but-
because every time you tell me
That's-
something,
That's
I don't know
not
what
that's
you're
not
fucking
flattering.
That's not
That's not flattering.
That's not
Yeah,
flattering. Well, here's what I'll say about that stuff. Is that you have to look at it in the same way that you would approach writing a song or practicing your instrument. You know, like there's an art to the business side of this whole thing, and if you just look at it as an art form, then you can get creative with it. There's a template, right? But there's no real rules.
yeah, I know, right?
So-
That's what I said. I didn't hear it right either. But keep going, sorry.
Go ahead.
How do you guys say it?
Template.
Template.
Yeah.
It's called template, okay?
And Brady, your friends.
Can you say milk real quick?
Milk.
All right, you guys sound
Okay.
like all right. That's right.
Okay.
People from the South are lazy, bro.
Say-
You guys don't enunciate your
Say
words.
oil again.
Oil.
Weird.
That's how you say. How you say boil?
Boil.
Okay.
All right, bring us back home. Bring us back home.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's just.
You
if
want to do a
look-
crawdad ball later?
What is that?
I'm from Kentucky.
Call
Yeah,
that ball.
Kentucky. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's all about looking at it as an art form. It's the business side of it is can be just as creative and fun as the music side of it can be if you choose to look at it that way. If
Yeah.
you're sitting there like, oh, I'm just sending out emails, this is boring. But it's like you can word those emails in a way that can sound like you know, like you have fun with the way you're wording it.
Yeah.
You know, get creative with it.
At the end of the day, you're a goddamn artist, right?
Yeah.
So be artistic with it.
Exactly.
Be
You
creative.
know how I would
Exactly.
do that? You know, I had fun reaching out and booking is using a boomerang to send at a certain time.
A boomerang?
Yeah, boomerang. It's
like Zelda?
like a Chrome add-on maybe or something.
Okay.
I don't know
Service,
about this.
but it sends your mail at a certain time. You can schedule it.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, so
cool.
you're writing an email late 12 at night, and you know you send it to somebody a contact. You're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have sent a professional email this late. You schedule it for the next morning at 9 a.m.
Yep.
But one way I had fun was I would schedule them all for 9:04 a.m.
Duval.
Yeah, you know, and it's just doing, you know, this. You're finding yourself, you're enjoying life if you're truly doing something you love,
Yeah.
and it's kind of stupid little stuff that just, you know, makes me thank God that I chose, you know, a path that was more about something, you know, so fulfilling versus something that maybe wasn't. Might
But it
not be
allows-
as
Because
much.
we could always just be hanging drywall in Ocala.
I mean,
Not a bad gig.
it's not a bad gig.
That was one thing, because growing up, my dad did construction, and so I was always like cleaning out fucking crawl spaces. 'cause
Yeah, that's how I learned, too.
I was small enough to fit inside of them, and he instilled a fine knowledge of physical labor that I'd never want to do again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which should have gone the opposite way, like make me work hard. Like, no, I know what I need to do to not have to fucking lay brick
Yeah,
again.
getting up under a house, a crawl space,
Yes.
that's no fun.
And picking out possums.
no.
Yeah, I had to do that a couple times when I was 7.
No.
Yeah, I didn't have to do a whole lot of intensive
Uh-uh.
labor growing up. I worked landscaping
Yeah.
for about
Yeah.
2 weeks, and then they were like, "No, I'm sorry, kid, you don't have cut out for
where
this."
Where you from again?
South Florida.
South Florida, West Palm-ish.
No, more like Miami, Fort Lauderdale
Miami, okay.
area.
It's Tony
Yeah.
305.
Yeah, and that's not the best place to be doing landscaping.
Oh,
It's-
no.
It's hot.
Consistently over 100 degrees in the summertime.
Oh, yeah.
It gets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about as hot as it is here. You know, it just doesn't ever get cold there.
There's no showering before work
No.
at
there's-
that job.
No, not
When
at all.
I turned 13 though, my dad gave me a raise. He's like, "You don't work for free." I used to work for a milkshake at the end of the day, but in the summer, I know, yeah, we're poor. But he gave me
What kind?
$3 an hour, chocolate malt always. But he gave me $3 an hour. So, and then dropped
Not
me
bad.
off with the halfway house workers that he hired.
That's right.
Oh, that's where you really became cultured.
Ooh, big time. Yeah.
We have so
He
much
told
more
me-
in common than I thought, Billy.
He told me that's how I got learned to be like, you don't want to do this
Yeah.
when you're 45.
Well,
You see what
I'll
see what this is like?
They told me you're doing good in school. You should probably keep up with that. I'm like, yeah, I will.
I was
that's
definitely
cool.
hanging out with the halfway housers
Nah.
when I was 12 years old. Also, just not because I was working. Say
not-
that much.
I'm just saying that. Still going back, like you work so that eventually one day that you get to that level that you want to.
Yeah, of course.
You can't
It just pays off.
half-ass your way to success. You gotta put every single part of your creativity into everything.
Yeah, and it's like what you were saying about like sending the emails at 9:04.
That's
It's
hilarious.
like yeah, it's great. It's clever and it's
So
just
nerdy.
I would
it's
probably
fun
choose
for
420
yourself.
'cause that's more funny to me. But
But like we had Chris Poland on a few weeks ago, and he was talking about when he was booking with Fusebox Funk.
oh yeah, that story's
and
great.
they have like it was like
10 reasons
10
why you
reasons
should-
why you should book this band, and
because they weren't
they
responding.
weren't
at
responding
first.
to him. Like he sent a bunch of emails. They weren't. So he said, okay, until you respond to this email, I'm going to send one email every day of 10 reasons why you should hire this band. And I think that's a reason like number 8. And then the guy thought it was hilarious and booked him. And I took that approach when we were trying to play at Dunedin Brewery for the longest time, and Mike wasn't getting back to me for such a long time. And then I did 10 reasons why you should hire my band, and literally by reason number 9, he was like, "That's fucking hilarious. What date do you guys want?"
Yeah.
Just
All right, what are these reasons?
yeah.
Hey, swipe up.
Swipe up.
Swipe up.
Yeah, what was that? What was that reason?
What were the reasons? Swipe up right
Did
now.
you have 10?
No, I didn't. Lucky
Yeah.
he got
You were
back to me on
making them
reason. Every single day. I was like, what am I gonna say today?
Good thing he went on 9 because I didn't have a 10.
Yeah, literally that's what I was saying. I was like, thank God he answered because I did not know what I was gonna say for that last one. But yeah, man. I mean, you have to try and like figure out a way to make every aspect of it creative for yourself. You know.
And the networking aspect there is about solid relationships. If
Yeah.
possible. Cold emailing a bunch of people is never going to get you anywhere.
Right.
You have to get out on the scene. You have to make contacts and do all those little things. You have to study the art of networking, a little bit, and then get out there.
Right. Well, that's actually that's something that I actually didn't want to ask you about. So like when you were first getting started, I guess we can bring it way back to the beginning of the conversation. But when you were first getting started, how were you kind of breaking into the scene? Were you going to jams? Were you doing stuff to kind of put your name out there, or did you just kind of, I don't know, start a band and figure it out?
I was really not a part of the scene for the longest time. I was playing with country bands, and we were playing like the Animal Circuit, Moose's, Elks
okay.
Lodge,
Gotcha.
Oh, nice.
Fleet Reserve, and what was the other ones? Did I say American Legion?
No,
No.
but
No.
now you did.
316, and then
Yeah.
that's out there at the beach, and then Mayport.
Animal
So I was
Circuit.
playing a lot of that stuff before I went to Berkeley in bands and playing with other guys' groups, and then eventually some of mine. But I think really the catalytic way I got kind of plugged into the Pulse was even though I lived here, I was somewhat, had some contacts of different musicians and stuff like that. But the Pulse was when I got back from Berkeley. I put out a Craigslist ad. I reached out, very vulnerable and said, "Hey, I'm looking for a drummer for my albums, this type of music." And I did a cattle call, and I met Miko Limbo. Miko Limbo. He was probably the third guy to come through the door, and I was just like, he nailed the song. This is it. And then I think I auditioned a couple other guys, and it was some older guys that were just like, "Yeah, I just wanted to see if I could still do it."
Oh, I hate that.
And but that was part of the beauty of it. I had to put myself out there, and I really vibed with Nico. He just had a certain professional ability about him. Came in and knew his stuff, and had a great groove. Undeniably, great musician. At first glance, and so. They were doing a thing Friday nights out at the beach with Billy Thornton at, I want to say, Hammerheads or Land Sharks, the old Monkey's
one,
Uncle.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And, so I went out there and caught them one night to meet Billy before we did the album and just started hanging with them and getting plugged in, and we started doing the wedding thing. And that's probably the biggest way or most people I've met is through the wedding band. It's just,
Sure.
you do so many gigs and you don't see a guy again for a year or two, but you've played with him, you still have that connection. So that's been the best part of my network. Playing in the wedding band and meeting other people. But at the same time, getting out there too is important.
Going to jams
Because
and
they're different networks.
right.
The guys that go to the jams aren't necessarily the same ones on the wedding gigs and staying home or touring.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
So you really have to get out there and put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and really kind of see what all's out there, because you never know what context you're going to make. I met a guy the other day, Dennis Wolf from Belize, and he's a friend of my buddy Tyler's, and he's in town. He's got family in Woodbine, but he's in town from Belize right now, and he's just like us, man. He's a regular gigging musician down there with a band, and it's just a beautiful thing to meet other people and network with people that are genuinely doing what you're doing. And this music stuff is so complicated in the industry. People shy away from it, but it is so much fun. It's so rewarding at the end of the day, just because if you love music, there's really stuff to do.
Yeah, well, and it's like we talked about it on one of the other podcasts, but there's this thing when you play with someone or you go on the road with somebody, even if it's just like one time, where especially if it was like a really good time, where you just kind of have that moment together forever, because that moment means so much to both of you, independently, and then you see them again. It could be a year, 2, 5, 10, and you're just like, we had that moment together.
Yeah.
That meant so much to both of us in whatever way, and it's not a common thing in really any other career path that you find that
in the sales office.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And speaking on that, is I've done with the Emerald Empire band, the wedding band that I played with. Some of the showcases we've done in these different cities for prospective clients of weddings and stuff. I mean, I'm just hearing some of the nastiest stuff, and it's just some of the guys, and I look back there, and that's the memory that's ingrained in my head.
Yeah.
That look on his face when he knew that I turned around and realized he was playing something different that was dope. This reharm of a typical song.
Right.
And you're just like, no, you didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And the look on that person's face when they're like,
Yeah. Well, it's cool because it's like you kind of realize like, oh, that person's listening also, which is like a cool thing because you're not always, there's some guys up there just like stone cold or and like you just don't know what's going on in their head, or sometimes it's like that they're just not listening at all. But when you do something cool and that person kind of looks back, you're just like, oh shit. You're like, oh, you're listening.
Yeah.
That's just a very cool like moment.
Yeah, and that's that togetherness on stage. You got each other's back. Like we're doing this together is really the essence of what you should be doing. But it's little moments like that remind you, like, oh yeah, this dude's got my back right now, and in a really good way.
Exactly.
In like a freaking awesome way.
Because that could mean that moment right there could mean you losing or gaining a shit ton of money. However, so it's like everyone there is like hopefully really trying to put their best foot forward and make sure that we're all going to be rising tides lift all boats kind of thing, ships, whatever. Ships, boats, all the same shit.
It's not a boat, it's a yacht.
It's a yacht. It could be with those wedding gigs, bro.
Hey, I'm telling you can't hide money.
Yeah, exactly.
And when Stephen Honig walks in here with that shirt on, I'm telling you.
We grilled him on that. He gets that on fucking like Amazon from China for like $10.
Yeah, bro.
So he had to go. He had to send his
Looks
credit
like $1
card
million.
digits to China, all the way to China
I don't
through
know.
a processor here in America.
Hey, but
Yep.
it looks good, bud.
Yeah, I guess.
I was
guy
thinking about
farts.
that process. Everything you buy from China,
Yeah, it's definitely a process.
got to go through Amazon first.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so you
I hate to
and
interrupt. Can I open that other bottle of wine?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll
go
be
for
right
it,
back.
man.
Yeah, you do that. You come back with that bottle of wine, and then I'll do a bathroom break after you come back.
That sounds good. You
All right, now let's get down to
let's
business.
get
How
that.
the Billy's
So
going.
Billy's the worst fucking person ever, anyways, and fuck him. And I was joking. Love Billy. He's a great guy.
Love you, Billy.
So when did you and Isaac Corbett decide to start working together? Because you had the Corbett Clampitt experience for a while. How did that happen, and why did it happen?
We actually, a mutual friend, my buddy Matt Link earlier, that gave me the organ going to Berkeley.
Oh, okay.
He's like, dude, you gotta meet my friends. I can't believe y'all don't know each other. He's like, you're a badass musician. They're badass musicians. And basically set it up. We hung out at their house on the creek one day. I set it up, and we just became mutual friends and acquaintances from there. And they were doing their thing. I was doing my thing. And when Newsom was taking a break from the road, Isaac called me. He's like, "Hey, man, we don't really want to take a break right now from the road." He's like, is there any chance you want to play with us and go out here and let's hit this thing? And I was like, yeah, there's a real good chance. So I got to work right away on that. I was just like, it was life changing in the sense that I had something different to work towards, at that something different, a different direction to go. And it was the right time then too. Everything seems in my life, everything is always the right time,
Yeah.
If it's not the right time, it's not the right time.
Right.
If it's the right time, it's the right time.
Yeah, totally.
It's kind of like that Jerry Seinfeld stand-up when he's talking about repeating words. It's like, rules are rules.
I don't think I ever saw that one, but
No, it's good. Yeah, he's saying rules are rules. But where were we? Sorry.
oh no, it's all good. Just starting up Corbett Clampitt experience and like why that happened,
Well, so I guess where I was like, I went to work right away on it because I was looking forward to playing with them so much. I enjoyed playing with Buck over the years, and they had just been with Jake on bass for about six months or so.
Okay.
And they were doing some cool stuff, really great stuff. So it was just like an opportunity, of a lifetime for me to hook up with my boys and go out there on the road and just have fun.
Were you guys trying to? Was that just like a fun thing to do, or like a money making thing, or were you guys really trying to like take it like somewhere to like the next level type shit?
It started out as being a money making thing. Like, hey, let's go out. We got gigs lined up. We got gigs here, gigs there. We can do this. We run it up here, run back down, go down to the Keys, and that's the way it started out. But we always, from the get-go, kind of started pushing it towards writing together and seeing what we could come up with.
Yeah.
And then we eventually did, I think, one of our first writing sessions at the cabin in North Carolina.
Okay.
His parents own this cabin. It's almost 100 years old. It's just been passed down from family members and generations, and it's just they keep it so that people can experience it. And the thing you really experience up there if you go is the family, and kind of like what these people are all about. The Corbetts themselves are just a very family-centric group of people, and I come from that, so it's very easy to be around them and comforting being on the road. And being up at Isaac's parents for a few weeks while we're kicking around North Carolina is actually very nice to spend time with them, being 7 hours away from home and my family. So.
Yeah, of course.
But I think, that first writing session, Newsom was there. He was hanging out that weekend. We started writing, and we were just like, there's some cool stuff here. Let's keep doing it. So we got to a year, and we kind of decided to take a break at that point. But we recorded 5 to, I think, 7 tracks overall.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna put out an EP or something?
No, they're sitting on my laptop.
Okay.
Go figure.
I'd love to hear that stuff, guys. I
There's
love
one
Isaac.
that's really good. That the recording, I would say, it came out the best, and it just maybe had the most care taken after it at the time. But we were talking about doing like an animation with that and releasing some stuff eventually. But it's just we don't want to dump a whole lot of money into it to certain projects like that, creative projects with not a way to support it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if there's not like a bigger vision for it, it's just a back burner thing until you have the time and money to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when, so from that, I guess you were kind of doing, I don't know, like what were you doing in between like your stuff and Corbett Clampitt before you got to Melody? What was going on? You were just kind of doing the wedding band stuff?
Writing. Yeah, doing the wedding band stuff, writing, planning my next album. And yeah, and then when Melody Trucks Band formed, I diverted my energy and my focus to that. But I still continued to like think about my next record, like when would be the right time, like. And it came up with COVID and everything. Like we had all this stuff booked up next year. We were gonna have a really awesome year for Melody Trucks Band.
Yeah,
and just ended up being, everything that happened worked itself a way for me to sit down and actually figure out a way to release a time and have time to focus enough to release this and get it out, which has been a big deal to me. It's just, when you want somebody to hear a song that's good right away.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting on it for 4 or 5 years, it's just, it eats away at you a little bit in kind of a good way. So you're losing weight, it's not a negative thing to sit on something like that. But
it does make you anxious, though. You're just like, fuck,
man.
man.
Like we were talking about, y'all mentioned earlier, like that anxious feeling of getting something out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we've been going through, like, big time, because not to like put our dirty laundry out there, but we're trying our best to get this album out and everything like that. But it's hard to come up with the money to do everything that we want to do when we can't play shows or make money.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I feel like I don't know, maybe it's not such a bad thing to sit on stuff like you said. And when it's ready, like the thing is it's already ready to go. You can just do it whenever.
Well, so you're saying when the time is right, it's right.
Yeah.
When it's not right, it's not right.
Yeah, don't push it, don't force it.
Yeah.
And even in times like these now, where it's like, okay, cool, like you worked on something so hard and everything. If realistically, if we had all the money and we're like ready to go and just release everything, like what are we gonna do with it? We can't tour. We can't go anywhere.
Can't go on the road right now.
So everybody's kind of sitting on their hands, but at the same time, like, don't stop working.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I
do
think
everything you can do. That's why we did this and everything.
Yeah, and this has been a great thing. It's just like I said, this is probably my second favorite podcast compared to Joe Rogan's.
No shit.
I'm watching y'all and I'm watching Joe Rogan.
Oh man, that means a lot.
That's
Thank
it.
you so much. I appreciate
That's
that.
it.
Yeah, I love doing this, and it's never been hard. Honestly, it's never been a struggle.
No, it's always so cool.
Liquor has
getting to,
helped, I will say.
The liquor definitely helps, but it also has just been
I'll
so
get the
cool.
bourbon aged wine next time.
Ooh,
I
I talk my language right now.
Good stuff.
But yeah, it's just also it's just cool getting to talk to people and hear about their backgrounds and connect with people on a different level. It's like a lot of us, the people that we've had here, especially, it's like we've hung out at shows or and it's
that's one of the reasons I was really looking forward to this too, because you and I that's a very good description of how we probably get to hang out.
Yeah,
just passing each other at shows,
festivals or shows or whatever. Yeah,
we never even met.
Right, we never met.
Yeah.
I felt like we had. Like I said, I've been watching the podcast enough.
That's it.
I was like, we're friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
yeah. It's just
Is that what people do?
yeah, that's what people
or is
do.
that just me?
No, that's what people do. No, but it's true, man. It's just been cool to kind of like be able to do that with a lot of different people, and it gives us insight into what people are doing, and gives us ideas for what we can do. And it's just it's just been a really cool experience doing this.
Yeah.
So.
We were talking about process earlier, and that's so involved, and like there's a lot to learn from us just talking about what we're doing.
Yeah,
two different bands,
and that's
two
what we're trying
approaches.
to develop too. Is more of a community thing, not so much as like like obviously like we all know each other and the music community is there, but like more being like, hey, how'd you do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the wrong way about it.
Exactly.
Like, how'd you do what you're doing?
Yeah, you
how'd
really
you get that?
Walk up to
that,
you,
and like
laugh
I've
at
gotten
you.
that from people before. I was like, how'd you get that?
Yeah.
And it just made me learn a lesson. I was like, if I was going to ask for advice from anybody, that's not the way I would do it.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's like, because it's not such an easy answer. Like, oh, well, how did you get? I see you're on these festivals. How did you get? On
Yeah,
these
how'd you get on this
festivals?
festival?
Well, how much time do you have? Do you have time for the whole documentary?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
all right, let's rewind it back. I was
Yeah.
5. I started singing in church.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
like,
so true, man. Yeah.
I think what I meant more though too, like obviously like what you said, you don't have enough time to really get into it, but we're all kind of trying to do the same thing basically,
Yep.
and everybody's got different views and
Different
everything.
approaches,
So just put it
yeah.
all together, and
you made me think of something I was going to say earlier, and I can't remember what point we were making, but it was the fact of how much there is out there. Everybody's trying to do the same thing, and there's so many more people doing music now that when somebody checks out your music, it means so much more today, I think, than it ever did.
Yeah.
Because there's such a convoluted the connection that when you make it to an artist is, I would say it's more than what it is, what it used to be, but it's certainly as deep, if maybe not, more affluent.
Yeah, no, totally, man. Because it's like they're choosing to spend their time to listen to you, as opposed to
Versus
just like, hey,
being
here's
like,
what's on the
oh,
radio.
Okay, now I get
a
what you're saying.
worldwide catalog of music of all time.
Right.
And it grows. It's grown in the last 20 years infinitely.
Yeah.
I did the math one time. You cannot physically, you sit down and listen to every recorded piece of music ever. You wouldn't even, I can't remember what it was, but you wouldn't even get like nowhere near halfway through if you started as a baby and lived to 100 and nothing, all you did were exposed to different songs and listened to the entire catalog of music of the history of the world.
That's
You wouldn't be able to listen to it all.
so crazy.
So that was one night I was late up thinking about this, and just one of the special things about my career, I was like, that was insight. Like, everybody that supports me is super special because it means something. It
They
means that
choose
much to
do
me.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, it should mean that much to me, every person, because time is such a valuable thing.
Yeah, man. Yep. That's why I say all the time. It's like when I go to a festival, or if we're playing a festival or playing a show, people buy tickets, and it's like there's other things you could be doing right now, but for people that are fans of music like that are taking the chance on a local band or bands that are up and coming, it's like you're working your ass off so you can take the money that you've earned and spend a couple hours with this piece of music that nobody else really cares about, but you've decided that you care about this or you want to support the person, whatever it might be. And that's what's so amazing about this whole festival scene, is that that's a unique fan in that sense. Like festival scene, like maybe like the metal scene.
organic.
It's like everybody versus like pop music where people are just putting on the radio. It's just whatever they're force fed
Right.
on the radio that day.
Yeah.
It's like people are choosing to spend their time with you, and that's just a quality that you have to be so thankful for in these fans in this scene.
That was a really insightful comment, and I think I'm going to resign as your publicist
I'm gonna
because you don't need me.
yeah.
And way to go, bud.
Yeah.
So, do you need me?
Oh,
No.
maybe.
Hire me?
Yeah.
No.
I'm cheap.
You're cheap, but you were for free.
No.
It's great. It pays in great exposure, though.
If you're rich, I'm cheap.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
I actually did. We have to get to unpopular opinions in a minute, but I wanted to.
Let me go to the bathroom before we do that.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
got a
but
potty break.
I have one more question that I want to ask you
Okay.
in regards to being in separate bands and writing for separate bands.
Mm-hmm.
When you write, do you choose to sit down and write, or do you just wait till it comes to you? Number one, and number two, how do you decide where that song is going, whether it's for you or for Melody or whatever other project you're involved in?
Number one, I normally don't sit down and try to write. It's normally coming over me, and I'm like, damn, I get to a pencil, get to a guitar and a piano, like ASAP, because I'm close enough that I'm like, oh shit, let's grab it. Here it comes.
Right.
But when I've sat down and tried to write, stuff comes out. But it really is this song is a testament to how songs come to you, just from another place, from intuition, from the spiritualness that we don't understand
Right.
of what music is. It comes from somewhere else that fast.
Yeah.
But I do like sitting down and the idea of forcing yourself to write.
Yeah.
It's good because stuff
Good
comes out.
practice.
It's maybe not the same. It's a different, way to get there, and they're not one's not more special than the other. Like a song that took me a few years to write can be just as important and special and meaningful and deep as one that took me 30 minutes.
Right, I understand.
Yeah. So number 2 would probably be what was number 2?
Where do you choose?
How do you choose between your original stuff and then the band you're in?
Normally I sit down intentionally to write for that project or the other. Even though I don't sit down and write a lot, it is one thing or the other.
Yeah.
As soon as I start kind of being able to, more visualize the idea, I could make a better decision on like, this is something the band would, this would be perfect for Melody Trucks band, or this is something, this is probably my stuff right here.
Yeah, I feel you.
This is a song about my, love, ups and downs, songs like that. I'm like, yeah, that's my stuff.
Yeah.
For the most part. But in the end, we wrote and brought things in for the band and things that weren't for the band for the album. Can You Feel Me Now was not necessarily for the band. I started writing it and then started collaborating with Isaac and Melody one day on the lyrics, and then we brought the song into the rest of the band. And
That's my second favorite song on the album, next to the other one that you wrote, which is I can't remember what it's called at the moment, man. But it's such a good. It's you and Melody sing it together. I think.
Fire Inside, probably.
Yeah, I think that's.
The Sunset song?
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
that
okay.
one.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one, and Can You Feel Me Now are like every time I hear those two, I'm just like, fuck it.
See, and that's two different intentions.
Yeah.
Can You Feel Me Now was not necessarily written for the band. I just started to write it one day, and it happens for some personal instances, and it's just real life stuff from relationship that wasn't necessarily, boo-hoo, I lost my girlfriend.
Yeah.
It was, more of like drama and people talking about stuff that they weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, he said this. Oh, you were supposed to say that.
Yeah. It definitely comes out in the lyrics for sure. Yeah.
But there was no real intent there with that song other than it was just kind of free flowing. And Fire Inside was totally intentful. Me and Isaac had taken did some gigs up in North Carolina, so we were like, let's write for the band.
Yeah.
Let's see what comes out. We're going up to his parents' cabin. It's just on some beautiful acreage up there in the Nantahala National Forest. Perfect spot to get away and really do that. So let's write intentionally for the band. And one day we walked up the side of the mountain up to the stream, and this beautiful waterfall. We sat there, got a little fire going, drinking some beers, probably smoked a joint, can't remember.
Sounds amazing.
Right.
Probably though, right?
But we sat there and started working on that song, and it came from a place of intention. And we, so there's two different things, but then, could you tell that by just listening to the song? Maybe not.
No, I don't.
No.
As an outsider, no, not
But
at
it's
all.
it's the interesting point, maybe the parts of hearing something behind the story of a song, like where did it come from?
Totally.
It's interesting. Always.
Yeah. If you want to go to the bathroom, you go for
Yeah,
it.
okay.
I got one more question I
You
want to
guys
ask
talk
you.
about me while I'm gone.
Oh, for sure.
What a great
This
guy.
episode's kind of a dud, right?
No.
It's fucking-
It went by so quickly. Every single episode that goes by so quickly, I'm just like, oh, it's over?
Yo, I'd say
Aw.
we would need like another episode with Brady to get through the other questions
Should I
that I
ask
have.
my mom, can I go in the ball pit one more time?
Yeah, right. Yeah, man, those are always like the best
How you
episodes
doing?
for sure. I'm doing phenomenal. This wine is really good. This second bottle we opened up, I don't know what it is, but
It's because it was in the refrigerator.
it's nice and it's got like a smokier kind of flavor, like a flavor to it. I don't know if you. They made a little swig, and you spit it back in.
I mean, it's definitely red. You don't spit it back in. Oh, for fuck's sakes, dude. There is something wrong
It's
with
good.
you. Oh, my God.
It's good. Tastes like coronavirus.
You doing okay?
I'm doing great. Feel good.
Okay.
How do you feel?
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
I'll be honest with you. I was working my ass off for like 2 months straight for Greenhouse and for Side Hustle and for the Monster Mash thing. And I'm just like, it's over now. And on the books, we've got that one show.
Playing Nights for
in
November
a couple
21st.
weeks. Yeah, November 21st. And that I'm just like, okay.
Kind of taking it easy.
I'm taking it easy, but I'm tired of taking it easy. I want to take it hard.
We'll start practicing again. You take it hard.
I want to take it real hard.
I don't know if you noticed. Brady's an aggressive power bottom, so he's got you
What?
Covered.
No, he's not.
It was like an inside
I mean,
joke.
teach
It
their
was-
own, if that's what his deal is. But I think he said girlfriend like twice.
I made a I made a joke at Halloween.
Nothing.
We were just talking shit. I made a joke.
We're gonna
when we
get
were
canceled here in a bit.
I made a joke when we were.
Yeah, sorry I didn't pour you a glass, bud. You were in the middle of talking, and I didn't want to do the reach around for you. I was waiting for you to hand it to me. This is great wine, and thank you
Yeah,
so
it's
much
actually
for
really
bringing
good.
liquor. Okay, I did. You're right, I did.
So
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, okay.
So before we get to unpopular opinions, in Melody Trucks Band, you guys have an interesting dynamic where there's like literally just everybody in that band has been a band leader at one point or another. To put it down.
You just set it down so it spills.
Oh, true. Yeah, it's my fault.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes
right.
sense.
Smart man right there.
Yeah, I know.
So you guys are basically a bunch of band leaders in one band. What's it like writing in that scenario, and what was like working in the studio with all those different personalities? Everyone must have had really strong opinions about stuff.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
That was the most challenging, I guess, writing process I've been a part of, because everything I've done before that was just mainly myself. A little bit of co-writing with Isaac and some other friends of mine, my buddy Corey. And it's just co-writing. Yeah, two or three people, vibing on something is a lot different than seven.
Yeah. For sure.
So most of what everybody brought in was kind of already a song-ish, and we, stuck to, okay, well here's the meat and potatoes. What do we want to do with it as a band? And I think even though most of the songs came in with a lot, to work with, it was still a very challenging process to get through the arrangements, and but yet, even more rewarding, because you got through it, and 7 people contributed, and you're just looking at the track. It's not the same track. It's not the same track that it was.
Yeah, totally.
And it's a completely different song now, and that's just a great feeling. It's a sense of accomplishment when, you can all put your heads together and come out of the room without, pooping on everybody's ideas.
Like fighting over egos and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, and it's you really have to lead out ego outside of the room, and that's the only way we accomplish that.
Was it a similar experience when you guys were in the studio recording?
No, we actually had more fun, I think, in the studio than we had writing and getting everything ready to go in. And then the producer we worked with, Dave Murphy, was a friend of Melody's dad's back in the day, and had a family history with her, and he came to meet us, I think, at Uncle Wayne's at one of the Bayard shows.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I'm just digging the vibe. And we met him. We're like, we like Dave, too. So we did the record at his place in Tallahassee. And, yeah, the vibe for that was just fun. We went in there hungover a little bit,
Yeah.
from a
Been
long
there.
weekend of, playing and then being off and partying and then trying to, go straight into the studio. I think I slept in the drum room for a couple of hours.
Billy's likes to
In
pass out
between
the studio
tracking.
too. He's a fan of sleeping at the studio.
Because I work a night shift job, not because I get hungover.
Big
I saw a
Napper.
meme about that this week. Yeah, you go.
What do you mean?
Man, people that work late. People
Yeah,
that
third
don't understand.
No, they don't. I've been doing it for 10 years.
Oh, I work late.
don't.
But my work is, sometimes partying
If you work
and
at,
not going to sleep.
if
So
you
I
work
don't know.
at 4 a.m.
Well,
do you work
sometimes I
late?
don't go to sleep at all. I'm just saying.
Sometimes people who work the night shift, they're like, yeah, I get off at 2 in the morning. I'm like, okay, bud, I get off at 6:30 in the morning.
Well,
Yeah, it's a different night shift.
yeah, way
different work. I'm partying, you're working. But,
Yeah,
work
partying
is
not
work. What are you gonna do?
So keep going.
But yeah, no, it was working with Dave. It was fun being in the studio. I think we had more fun doing that than getting through the writing process. But it's just like anybody's, a bit tenuous at times.
Yeah.
All right, let's take 5.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
or somebody takes 5 themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
And we just all took turns doing it and just coaxing everybody in. Somebody would walk outside, or it's a certain person would go outside and be like, hey, go outside, see.
We would take
Talk to
5.
them, make sure they're good.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back in. And I think the family vibe that Melody really brought to the group and tried to establish, and what we really wanted to not just to the group, but to bring with the music and to other people and everybody that comes to this, that was what got us through those processes of just okay, let's bring it back to what are we here for. We all love music. We're here to make the best thing we can make. So all that stuff actually really worked itself out.
Yeah.
When you really everybody cares about the project.
Interesting experience, isn't it? Being in the studio when you're like listening to your music really for the first time in a lot of cases in the third person, and also under that kind of a auditory microscope, and then the criticism that you give yourself, the criticism that others are giving you in a room where there's no natural light coming in, there's probably no windows, soundproof, so that
No
gets
vitamin
to
D.
you. Yeah, you go in and it's daylight, and then you walk outside after what you felt like it was 10 minutes and it's dark, just like that kind of psychology, just it can fuck with you after a little while,
Yeah, and it's a real thing. What's it they call it, ear fatigue?
Yeah. I'll
From
tell you
sitting
what,
there,
man,
listen back to mixes and
I'll
and
sit there
tracking.
and be hearing shit that's not happening all the time. That shit, so you guys fucking hear that?
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, no, man, you're fucking going crazy.
That's what I learned
Yeah.
from Jim DeVito too. Is walking away from it at a certain point. We put in like 10 to 12 hour days when we were trying to track,
Yep.
and then going back and doing another 10 to 12 hour day and trying to do all your overdubs and stuff.
Yeah.
At a certain point, in 10 to 12 hours, your ears are just done.
Yep.
If you're setting up for a
100%.
good amount of time, that's we'll give you a break. But being in the studio working, you'll come back the next day, and things you heard, or maybe not the next day, maybe 30 minutes, but you give your ears a break and your mind a break, and you
Reset.
hear something totally different. You maybe heard it in a way that wasn't.
It's almost
good
like
the
a
first time.
complete waste of time to work that long
No.
on something, isn't it? If
Disagree.
you think about it,
No, Billy's trying to get to me right now. That's all he's trying
No,
to do.
it seems like you should work on it for like 4 hours,
No,
take a break,
absolutely
and then
not.
come back to it.
no, I think you have to work till the fatigue sets in.
Oh,
you
for
have to
fuck's
realize
sakes.
the fatigue and then
Work-
walk away.
work through the
Because you
fatigue.
may get some of that gold stuff, some gold intakes right before you get fatigued.
Because that's
Or
what,
you might get it while it's fatigued.
while
and
you're
like-
fatigued.
But that's a good idea. I might have to hit that when I'm not fatigued. Come
Yeah.
on, Billy.
Sounds like a great idea. We go get a drink and then come back, listen to it, and be like, yeah, that's dope. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's what would it be? I'm just teasing, but it is interesting for any sort of other art subject. It is more of just like, it's not done yet. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. But it's not because
That's because
it's not because that you're tired of looking at it. It's just not done. But with the ear fatigue thing, you're like, oh, this is great. This is
Yeah.
perfect. This is amazing. You come back the next day.
exactly.
It's this is
Terrible.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like just
You
so-
didn't
you're
notice that
hearing-
before or anything
Yeah,
like
'cause
that.
you've heard the same shit over and over again. You're just like,
Yeah.
that sounds fine. Like you're exhausted.
And then you hear it.
Yeah, it's
then you
like,
hear it.
yeah, man.
And then it's like William Shatner sitting there from the Brad Paisley celebrity video. He's like, shit,
yeah.
caca.
yeah,
I like the end of the song.
yeah,
When you stop playing.
I like
and
that.
the music stop.
Like-
I like that.
So
You ever
good.
seen the quickest Amy Winehouse interview ever? She's just getting off stage and someone's like, "Amy, that was such a wonderful show." It's like, "Oh, that was right shite, but thanks for saying so." And then just like walks
Yeah,
off.
it's like,
I was like, "Yeah, it's just shit the whole time." But
That's.
I
I can
understand ear
vibe with
fatigue.
that.
I understand ear fatigue and
Yeah.
everything, and
Man,
just,
it's such a
just-
magical process to me. I love it so
there's
much. It's my
nothing
favorite place in the
magical
world.
about it at all. It's like watching paint dry
It's no man.
on meth.
I would if I could. if, that sounds fun, actually.
Yeah.
I
Staring at a wall for 12 hours.
If I could, like, I could literally, you could tell me that you will never play a gig again, but you can work in the studio the rest of your life. I would take the studio every time.
Not even a fucking shot at that.
I like
dude.
performing, man, but I like seeing.
If they said you could never record anything the rest of your life, it'd be like, and you could just I'd sign up immediately.
Yeah, I would be hung up on the fact of like, you know, how it feels to rock out to that song once it's recorded
sure.
right.
Duh.
That feeling, you know,
Sure.
like, and never like pushing it into the 3D world.
Yeah, I totally get that, and I love performing. I really
Mm-hmm.
do. But it's like when I'm in the studio, it's like all the options all of a sudden become available to you, and you're just like, what can I really do with this 3-chord song that I wrote, you know, in my bedroom? Like, what can I really do with this? And all of a sudden, it's like everything just comes to life.
Yeah.
And it can be exhausting, and you can hate yourself. You can hate the people that you're working with for a little while. You can hate your engineer for a little while. But
and everyone's just going to be listening to it out of their laptop speakers. So
well, but it's not about everybody else. Sometimes it's also about
It's
you.
about the audio files, man.
Yeah,
Where the audio files at? You're still out there.
That's
People,
right.
what was it, 2 years ago? Vinyl sales were like
skyrocketed.
higher than CD. Finally.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because people don't have CD players.
Yeah, because they don't have CD players. Vinyls are making a comeback randomly, which is great. I
Making
love
a
vinyls.
comeback.
Yeah. Vinyl sales never went anywhere. Just CDs stopped selling.
Yeah, they
That's
just
all.
like, all right, no more CDs.
All right. Well, we gotta get to unpopular opinions.
Yeah,
we got to do rapid fire
Oh,
ones.
Yeah, we
man,
gotta
this
do
is
rapid
so much
fire.
fun. Thanks, guys, for having me
So
again.
Man,
while we
thank you
come
for
up
doing
with,
this.
yeah,
Thank you, Billy.
this
Thank
is-
you, Anton.
Yeah,
Cheers.
we'll have you
Yes,
on
man.
again.
Love you guys.
I hope everyone
all the
watches this
wine.
whole episode because this is such a good. The entire way through, it's like just such a good, great information the entire way through.
This is going to be the best one. This is going to be the biggest one.
It's really gonna be if we get the most views
Hey,
on it.
we're gonna-
If
we're
we
gonna
can break
start-
50, we're good.
We'll start calling it top of the bill.
Top of the bill. Well,
Just
we-
for one episode.
No,
just
that
for
was-
one,
one
just for one
episode.
of your history episode.
No, that was the thing.
We were talking about starting a record
started
label.
on the bottom, stay on the bottom.
But we're
Started
gonna
on the bottom, now we're here.
We're just
Started on the bottom, now we're here.
Now we're here.
We started making T-shirts that just say like "fuck it," started on the bottom.
We should
Staying
podcast.
on the
It's
bottom.
a great
Podcast
logo,
t-shirts.
too, by the way, the bottom of the bill logo.
That
Thanks.
was,
Yeah.
that was all Billy.
You did it?
That.
No, I wish I could say I took credit for it, but
You-
Fiverr.
Fiverr
Nice.
I paid $35 for
Worked
it.
out.
You
great, though.
commissioned that.
Yes, I
That
commissioned.
piece.
Yeah, it was all
Commissioned
me.
the piece.
It was
Just
all
as
me.
important.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember his name, but he is from Thailand, so I don't know.
It's probably. I was gonna say something racist, but you know why?
Jeffrey Epstein.
No.
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 Ooh, that's a good one though. I like
Yeah.
that. That's good.
I heard he
No.
died.
You know,
How's it
that's
going?
actually what people should be talking about. Jeffrey Epstein.
Well,
Yeah. Well.
we were.
Yeah, for sure. That's- all right.
Yeah, let's get to the bottom of that after this.
After this.
After this, yeah.
My first unpopular opinion is I'm actually not a huge Wolfpack fan.
What?
I like.
What?
Hold on.
What?
Hold on. I'm gonna.
What?
There's a caveat. There's a caveat here.
Adventures.
I'm actually much more of a fan of each of their projects on their own.
No.
Theo
Which
Katzman,
are-
Corey Wong.
Really, you should listen to
No,
them.
no,
Theo Katzman.
Theo, I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah,
He's
he's
amazing.
great.
Corey Wong is also amazing.
Okay, yeah,
Pretty
I
good
follow him too.
Antoine Stanley is awesome.
Anybody with the name
Joe
Antoine
Dart.
or Anton.
Does
no.
Joe?
Not into it. Yeah.
Does,
I can't-
does Joe
What
Dart
else you
have
got?
a project? I
But
didn't
Joe
know
Dart
that.
just plays in everybody else's shit. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know they all had separate projects.
He plays.
Yeah,
he
and
just
it's-
that guy Theo, however you say his last name, the mandolin player.
Theo.
Oh, Chris Thiele.
Thiele. Sorry,
Yeah.
thank you.
Corey Wong does a lot of work with him too on his side. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's very unpopular opinion.
Corey
Wolfpack
Wong
is
does a
the
lot of like cool
best.
Americana like / classical stuff on guitar. It's amazing.
So the unpopular opinion is that you're not a big, very
Wolfpack,
not a very
just
big
like
fan.
I like Wolfpack, and they're like their live show is amazing. It's awesome. It's really cool to watch. But I'd rather listen to any of their solo projects over Wolfpack.
Nah.
Yeah, I would say
album's
that's an
great.
unpopular opinion
Yeah.
because mainly, those other side projects aren't as popular.
I
as
know.
Wolfpack.
Exactly. Literally, it's an unpopular. It's like
I'd,
the
I'd
unpopular
have to
thing.
dig in more into Corey Wong and like the other guys' side projects. I haven't heard much.
I'll send you some
I've
links,
heard
bro.
like their last two albums. I guess.
I'll send you some links. I got
Yeah,
you.
send me links.
I'll send you some links, bro.
And
Send
even
me
the
links.
even the new Wolfpack album is amazing.
It's good. I'm just like I've also listened to Corey Wong's new album, and I'm much more impressed by that. I've also listened to Theo's new album, which I'm much more impressed by that.
I like it, but it's kind of the same thing the whole time.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So is Wolfpack's albums though.
No, I disagree.
Okay.
Anyways,
What's your unpopular opinion there, Bill?
Where'd you go, dude?
Where did I go? All right.
He's disappeared.
My first is the news that came out last night about the vaccine for the coronavirus. It says that the Pfizer vaccine has 90% efficacy. And this is a new word I just learned.
Efficacy?
Yeah, it means
That's
it's
cool.
Can you spell that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's but it just means it's 90% effective, and it just sounds too good to be true.
That sounds right.
All
I
right.
feel like they should have lowballed it.
Lowball a little bit.
So
Yeah,
they're
maybe,
like,
maybe,
it's
maybe allow some
a-
headroom. Maybe
Yeah.
undersell the show a little bit.
Yeah, a little
33
bit. That's what I'm trying to
33%.
say. Pull
Yeah.
the fucking Eddie Vedder and maybe put it at 60%.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good Tim Hall show reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So my next unpopular opinion.
Wait, I don't get to do one?
No, you
we
get
got
one.
Three
We
pop.
save you for
save
the
the guest
we
for
save
last.
the guest for
sweet.
last.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Not the
I get to
best,
think
but the
about it a
guest.
little bit more before I say this.
Think about it. Yeah. I like being in more of a support role musically than I do like being in the spotlight.
Like a nurse?
Yeah, I like being the nurse on stage rather than like the fucking surgeon or maybe the surgical assistant. And what I'm saying is,
You're cleaning
is that
scalpels.
people give me shit
A
sometimes.
bedpan specialist.
Yeah. People give me shit sometimes about not taking solos on
pun
stage, yeah. or just like maybe not being like trying to be the center of attention. And I just like sometimes I like just laying back. And being
You got
rhythm.
that Derek Trucks vibe.
Yeah, but I'm not good enough to pull it off. So
No,
it's, I like
you
to-
do it. No, you pull off the vibe completely.
I pull the vibe off my playing.
You're
It's
chilling
not-
up there. You command the stage, and from one area, when you move, it speaks volumes. You walk around, you walk this way. When he does something different, that's when it speaks. You command the stage as your own person.
That's why I try. That's why.
But you do have that Derek Trucks vibe because you're not a flashy guy.
No, I'm very stoic.
You're
and just
about the
kinda
music
like,
though.
Yeah.
Because it sends a message like, all right, this is more about the music. This ain't about the show. You go to see a different show, you're gonna be like, this ain't so much about the music. This is more about the show.
more of the show, right?
Brady, I feel like that's
You're
a lot.
about-
That's a lot of words for boring. But yeah,
Can you say that one more time? Might have to be on the Anton side on this. Can you say boring one more time?
boring.
Yeah, but yeah, that's that fun. This dude came out of the womb just saying, "I ain't got none."
I ain't got none.
Shoot. Boring.
Shoot, boring,
Boring.
boring. There's a G at the end of that word, by
Where
the way.
y'all from?
Yeah, I gotta go.
I just got back
stick
here
with
from
Anton on
Kentucky.
I'm from Miami.
Man,
Anyways,
homie.
yeah,
Rapid fire. Okay,
I like being not even just like not being like the center of attention on stage, but also like being an accompaniment on guitar, comping and like
It's
coming
easier.
up with. Well, it's not just easier, but it's not always easier to do.
Y'all
to
get
be
paid the same.
To be creative.
Yeah,
in the
whether you
rhythm.
play harmonica or drums.
I know.
Actually, my old band leader was a harmonica player, and he was amazing. But anyways, and Isaac as well is amazing. There it is, Isaac. That was
Yeah,
burnt
we
for him.
we always mess with them because you walk in with a harmonica. That's one thing, but when you're in a band, you're lugging all the sound equipment too. So
Yeah.
it's been one thing just to be a harmonica player, but when you're a harmonica player in a band, you got to carry all the shit
That's
too.
true.
yeah.
My old band leader was like that also. But yeah, being creative while being an accompaniment player to me is a lot more fun than being this like the soloist. It's like, yeah, well, we know what we're doing here, but when you're like to get creative with like a rhythm roll, to me is really fun. And
It
you
took
can-
me a while to understand that, and I feel like I've taken that on pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect at it yet, but
You gotten better.
Don't pat
comping
yourself on the
everything-
back yet.
No.
Don't pat yourself
I
on-
was real bad.
Yeah, you were
So
real bad.
I was just like solo the whole time.
So yeah, totally.
but now
you
I
still have
feel
your
like-
moments, but
Yeah,
you're
of
working on
course,
it though.
Yeah, of course, but most of the
He's
time,
working on it.
No, I am
Brady,
working
you gotta
on
give him a
it.
fucking.
Yeah.
You gotta give him some time.
Give me
Throw him a
some
bone,
time.
man.
Don't whoop it. You gotta throw the guy a bone.
Anyway,
All right, what's your second
second
unpopular?
one is I'm gonna miss Donald Trump.
Yeah, you're gonna miss.
I'm just
You're gonna miss him?
I'm just gonna miss him. That's it. Like I don't. It's not like.
Do you love him?
president. I don't.
Why don't you-
I like him a lot.
Would you marry? Would you marry him?
I'm not gonna marry him.
You're gonna miss the
Guys.
Twitter posts. You're gonna miss.
I'm gonna miss a Twitter post. I'm gonna
You
miss
probably
the random
you're gonna miss mine too.
random facts and stuff.
Everybody misses my Twitter post.
Really?
Everyone miss.
Hey,
What do you mean?
there's just no action on Twitter.
Yeah. Bro, I don't know. I gave up on Twitter.
It's really interesting.
Completely.
It's like we had this like giant fucking like hill of just Trump the entire way about everything that he's saying, and now it's just like I wasn't ready for it to be over yet.
You weren't ready for the national boredom that was about to
Yeah, I wanted I wanted a little bit more of the just like craziness, and then it's just like, oh no, he's not important anymore.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, but which I'm saying with like it in tongue in cheek, but at the same time, like, god damn it was fucking hilarious the stuff that he would say half the time at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
He's a great comedian, not really a president, but great comedian. You know,
and a very misunderstood guy. Now that's a communion sip for sure. Cheers. Don't worry about it. You brought it. I gotta go to work anyways. Yeah, it's got
wine legs on here?
Yeah.
Wine legs. What's that?
That's when you drink too much. You can't stand up.
What I was gonna say was I can't believe we got through this whole thing without anybody mentioning politics, but Billy had to do it. He had to do it. This was a civil discussion.
No, well, it was really funny because we don't agree on that at all. But
the civilness or the actual discussion?
The politics in general.
I'm not.
Imagine that you two agreeing on something.
He's conservative and I'm fucking
let me just
neoliberal.
clarify, I'm not a Trump supporter though. Okay, I'm conservative. I'm not a Trump
matter
supporter.
He's done. So
okay.
Go ahead.
Anyways,
we'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Yeah. Going back to what we were saying earlier, it was weird that we got there. I really enjoy the business side of the music industry. I love it. People tell me how, like, my dad always told me growing up. My dad's a bass player. Mm-hmm. He always told me growing up, he said, I hate the music industry. I just want to play. And I'm just like, as I got older and started seeing this shit, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's grimy as fuck, but I love it. I love the interplay of how things work together and how creative you can get with how you do things, whether it's PR stuff or booking or, you know, album artwork and writing music, like all of it together, like your image and how you package that all together and sell a product. That to me is like, it's interesting, it's creative, and it's fun.
You have to be a bit of a maverick to want to take that on.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a lot of self-exploratories. You know, like, who am I? What do I do? What's cool about me? What are people going to relate to?
Yeah, and see the like kind of the MO of the industry right now as it is, and having like this. Excuse me. I guess it's a bit of an ego, but like we all kind of have an ego for playing music for people, you know. But like, it's like
not me and Billy.
Not me.
Yeah.
Just
your band name is Brady Clampitt. Okay.
That's a really good band name.
It's a great band.
You ever heard of the band?
No, I think it's a really good band name though.
So to look at kind of what the MO is of the current landscape and saying, how can I operate in this world but do something a little different that the guys that have $1 million behind them aren't thinking about? You know what I mean? Like, it takes a certain level of like of I don't know, just ego to think that you can even compete. But it's fun to try and put yourself in that mindset.
It's like what I said earlier. It exactly relates to that. It's about the I wish I could remember now. It's not so much the ego. It's about the trusting the process and
the intuition.
Yeah, and wanting to do it, you know, versus the guarantee.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah, putting faith in yourself to really
the possibility versus the guarantee. Like, okay, this could happen. I could do this, and it could do this. But you know, if it's guaranteed, it's just different.
Yeah.
It's this type of work ethic that, you know, we all need to actually, you know, maybe get back to a little bit more in America's like, let me do this for myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I have this fear of you, like if side hustle, you know, splits ways, and then you keep on going down the business path of music, and then I keep on going the like performance path, and then like somewhere down the line, you're gonna have to fucking hire me. Would be so fucking pissed off.
I'd love that.
The price just went up, didn't
it? So Bill,
the price just went way up.
So what? So what do you guys got a band here? Oh, you got Billy Begley. Oh, that's cool. Make sure he gets no more than $50 per gig. How about that?
I knew that would be it.
This fucking
Was
guy.
that your third one?
That was my third one.
Okay, I got one more too, and I just texted my boss saying that I'm really gonna be late today.
Oh, Billy's that's cute. Billy's got a day job, guys.
Night shift.
Super
A
adorable.
night shift job.
Here's one, and it's a little bit relative. I've been a little sour about a situation that occurred to our band, but I'm not gonna go into it too much. But here, if
Go
you can
into it
figure
a little bit.
Bands should only play top 40 popular songs exactly how they're written, with no compounding on musical ideas within said songs, and no new music should ever be made from here on out.
And that's how you keep a gig, ladies and gentlemen.
No new music should be made.
What's the point? Why would you want anybody to hear new music?
We got fired from a bar for doing our own takes on very popular songs, and apparently the crowd. We were a
Loved
little
it
too
so much.
jammy for the
Yeah.
crowd, even though they were singing along with every song and asked for an encore. We were too jammy for the crowd.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I won't tell you the name of the place.
Dude,
but
you guys are jamming, man.
You guys are fucking.
Dude, they're jamming a little too hard,
You're
man.
jamming a little too hard.
All right.
Or
Talk to
they're
them.
taking the guitar solo. I'm out.
Let me
Fuck
talk
this
to the
place.
manager.
Exactly. I think there was one lady who was trying to get us to play Creed all night, and we don't play any Creed. And she probably complained because we kept telling her no. Not because we didn't want to do it, but also I don't want to do
Is
it.
that Billy's sister? Yeah, the sister.
I do have
She
a
likes
sister,
Creed.
Is
but-
Malv's in the Creed or what?
I was into Creed when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I was
who,
too.
Who wasn't when it was first
Human
coming
Clay
out?
is one of the best sophomore albums of all time.
Okay.
I actually, my first year of college, I took biology from the drummer's dad.
That's
Scott
right. because
Phillips.
Because they're all from Tallahassee.
Yeah, they're Tallahassee.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about
I was
that.
in Madison Community College, and Scott Phillips' dad is probably the funniest guy, a biology teacher ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Scott Stapp really a dick? I heard he's a dick.
Scott Stapp. I don't know. I've never met him.
No.
Well,
Brady, what's your unpopular opinion?
My unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I really, my unpopular opinion is that, Alex Jones was only wrong about Sandy Hook. That's the only thing he was wrong about.
I actually 100%, but he admitted that he was wrong about it.
Yeah, he did. He did. I
But
know.
he got canceled from YouTube.
I
He
watched
did.
the-
He's not on YouTube, Facebook, Apple.
I watched the Rogan interview.
Yeah, me too. The whole thing. It was
and
amazing.
He's like pulling up all this shit, and they're verifying it in real time on Rogan's podcast. You're just like,
Yeah, because
bro,
Joe's scared that he's gonna get fucking.
I mean, that's
fined from
pretty much
Spotify or
the
something.
only thing that he was wrong about.
Yeah, I know.
It's a very unpopular
it
opinion.
is. I don't hate Alex. I mean, he's a little much, but I don't hate the guy. You know what I mean?
It's just like, do you like, do you just like your steak with salt and pepper on it?
Oh, I put the fucking spice on my steak. Fuck no, bro.
He's
I
gotta
put
be
the
it.
fucking spice on my steak, bro. And I'm saying, like, Alex Jones is a little bit of spice on your
He's
steak.
like a little bit of spice and ketchup. Like you gotta
ketchup,
ding a ketchup right there next to it. Not A1, Like,
yeah. Or
you're like this
your-
is gonna be tangy.
Yes.
I don't really understand why he exists as a person, though. It is the most weird character that has existed in America.
He's a wild personality, I will say.
Yeah,
He's a wild
he is
personality.
wild, but man, like
He jumps around more than I do.
way more than this. We're nowhere near how he can.
That
jump
dude
around.
takes
But
that dude
Let's
takes
turn
at
the
least
frog
60
gay.
milligrams of Adderall every day, though. You know he does.
I don't think he's on.
I watched him on
Adderall.
Rogan.
He's
It's like, bro,
clenching
you're
teeth.
you're on some other shit. You're
You
not
know
taking
what?
bathroom breaks.
You know
so-
what? I actually heard recently, and I was a little bit more about that type of culture. A lot of reporters and journalists, Adderall is a huge thing
Yeah.
because they stay up. I mean, a lot of the talking points and the news stuff comes out at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of them are staying up, waiting until that, or they're getting up and then trying to stay up through the rest of the day until they write their article.
Breaking
Yeah.
news: amphetamines make you more productive.
I had my own.
It is a big part of that culture.
I had
though.
I had my own bout with it for about the
yeah?
last 7 years, and I had to quit.
Really?
Because it's real. I'm telling you, I was very productive, but then it was like when you don't have it and you're crashing,
Yeah.
you are the worst human being in the world.
Right.
And that was affecting my relationship, is affecting my ability to be a band leader and to be in a band at
human.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's
so I
He's reptilian, so it worked out.
Yeah,
So-
nobody needs to work that hard to go to that
Yeah, it's literally it's like I always justified it in the sense where it's like, oh well, you're getting a lot of work done, but I couldn't justify the state of mind that would make me in if I didn't have it. And it was like, so I stopped doing it because it was literally like affecting my relationship to a really negative point. So it was like, okay, well, you have to quit this, or this is going to be the end of your relationship, and could possibly destroy your relationship with the band as well. So and I stopped, and I felt
Drugs.
like overall, like it's made me, quitting it has made me just a more consistently. I mean, I still have like my mood swings and shit. I'm a moody guy, but like,
yeah, what I was trying to say, like waiting for you to stop, is that you have been like just baseline, just beep, like since I met you with your emotions, and then you were on Adderall at what point?
oh, for the entire time you've known me.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
You just been like.
I had a pretty serious Adderall addiction.
Yeah, and your
and I
mood
just stopped doing it.
Mood swings.
Yeah, but the
That's
thing is,
hilarious.
I
That's
don't.
probably the worst part.
I don't show my, like, I'm not like very vocal about like what I'm going through in the moment emotionally, but in my mind it's like somebody had said something that normally would just be like, okay, whatever, but like in that moment, if I was like crashing, it'd be like literally I could fucking kill you
Irritability.
right now.
Yeah.
But I would just keep my mouth shut because it's just like,
Yeah.
it's just better to say nothing. And also every task when I wasn't on it was just the biggest, it was the most monumental task in the world. Oh, I gotta fucking write an email. God fucking damn it, man.
Yeah.
It's like, just get the fuck out of bed and do something, you lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyways,
This is getting real.
Yeah,
I was saying, man.
And another thing is like, I've been incorporating exercise
Yes.
into like trying to eat right and just
Yep.
be.
Yeah, it
But,
makes a world of difference.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like exercise, getting out, walking for 20 minutes.
Yep.
I mean, it just does wonders for your body and
Just
your
putting
mind.
the right shit in your body starts to work better.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, look.
And that's really all our bodies are lacking is normal exercise and stuff. We don't need drugs and stuff to propel us to the stars.
No.
The human body and mind is the greatest thing on earth. It can already do that. It's already gotten us to the stars.
Exactly. We used to get caught up in like what Billy was saying earlier. A lot of us were introverts, so it's like we like to have like these social lubricants to kind of help us with things.
Gross.
So there's those times, but like I can say that I've spent a lot of my career trying to find ways to amplify my abilities, and Adderall helped me a lot, but it also made me that much worse when I didn't have it. And I found myself at a more consistently kind of just I'm here more than like fucking here and then down here. I'm just kind of like cruising right
You're
here
like-
now.
Well, it's good to know about you.
Yeah,
You're like
I've
the
always thought
top
you
of
just
the
like Billy. My
plateau.
impression of you is just pretty straightforward guy, just riding the wave.
I mean, yeah.
I haven't seen you on too much like highs.
I didn't take
Like
Adderall.
high, low.
I didn't take Adderall to party. You know what I mean? It's like I never do drugs. Like I do drugs sometimes. Like I'll party at festivals and stuff like that. But I don't like. I'm not like a consistent partier. I was taking Adderall
Oh.
because it made me. I felt like it was making me more productive.
Yeah.
So I try and keep my composure the best that I can. But so nobody saw me like really lash out in those ways. At least not in public. But in my mind, it was definitely a bad situation.
So we weren't hanging out with you when you were coming down.
No, I was probably on it, and among many other things. So you know what I mean. Anyways, guys, it's been a great podcast.
Oh man, this is just getting. We're done.
I wish
Y'all don't
we
want to
didn't
do
have
30 more like Alex and
I wish
Joe?
we could- oh, bro,
Come on.
I could keep this fucking going all night. I feel like we need another episode with you. To be honest,
We will do another one.
We can
That'd be
do
great.
we can do a part
Thanks for-
two another
thanks
You
for
know
being
why?
here
Because it
tonight,
was
man.
just so much fun. I was really looking forward, mainly to just hanging with y'all.
Yeah,
And I was like, this is like we were talking about at the beginning. This is something we don't get to do all the time.
yeah, totally.
Just sit down and talk and hang out. So I'm really glad you guys are continuing to do this, and it's so cool that y'all had me on. So thanks again.
Yeah, man. Thank you for being on, and make sure you're checking out Brady's new shit coming out. Well, it'll be out by the time this
Yep.
airs, but make sure you're checking out
Available
Spotify
now.
and Apple Music and
Yep.
everything, right?
Yep. Anywhere the music is sold. Daydreaming. at Brady Clampitt.
FYE.
FYE. All right.
They don't have those anymore.
And make sure you check us out November 21st, 1904 Music Hall. Get your tickets now while you still can.
That's right. I'm gonna be opening up
That's you open up the show.
Yep.
He's gonna be.
You just offer your services for free.
I just
Love that. Oh, Brady
This is
plays
a
for
ticket-
free, by the way.
It's a ticketed event.
Yeah, I'm not cutting you in, bro.
He's gonna be. He's gonna be outside the venue,
I'll give you bro,
opening up
if you
some
if you sell some
bottles.
pre-sales, I'll give you $2 in every pre-sale you
If,
sell.
if
Oh,
anybody
here we
makes
go.
it to the end of this video and they mention this, I'll pay for the ticket.
You heard it here first, kids. We'll see you next week.
Adios,
Thanks,
muchachos.
guys.